Hello. Welcome to the Armchair Expert. This is Dax Shepard, your host. I'm joined with Monica, your co-host.
Hello.
And before we get into this episode, which is with my ever beautiful, talented TV sister, Erika Christensen, I guess it's a disclaimer, I'll say. This is something I've been wanting to bring up for a while, and it's just kind of a context I'm hoping people will think of this podcast in. And the thing that I liked a lot about majoring in anthropology was this kind of mindset they forced you to adopt so that you could understand other cultures. And at the time, it was called cultural relativism. I don't even know if it's popular anymore, if that's even what they're teaching. But the point of cultural relativism was to not go into learning about something with the goal of judging that thing. Because if your goal is to judge it as moral or amoral or good or evil, it really gets in the way of you understanding that thing. And it's a very tempting thing. I am often quick to say whether I think someone's an asshole or they're a saint. But when you want to study things, your knee-jerk reaction is this is evil. That's the explanation. That's all we need to know about it. But as you learn more about the culture and the environment they're living in, you may ultimately come to the conclusion that this is a very bad practice or whatever. But by not jumping to that yet, it allows you to learn about why, when, how things happen. And my goal in this podcast is to do that, to understand why something is the way it is, and from that person's point of view. And the interest is in more the pursuit of causality and not a conclusion. So that is my disclaimer to say that we're going to talk a lot about Scientology in this episode, and I applaud Erika for being so honest about it. And you might be at home saying, you should be trying to prove to her why that's wrong. And I just want to say to you that that's just not my interest. My interest is to find out what it does in her life and why she's drawn to it. And I think she did a very good job of letting us in on that.
And no one's trying to convince you.
That's right. No one here is trying to convert you to anything. Not even AA, as much as I talk about it. Oh, one more thing before we get into Erika. This week, we're going to have a bonus episode, something new we're starting called Experts on Expert, where we'll talk to people who actually know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. And this week, we're going to have a really exciting person who's a childhood psychologist, a clinical psychologist who knows quite a bit about child rearing. Which then extends to adult life as well.
Yeah, it's not just for people who have children. I found it endlessly fascinating.
Yeah, I got to say it was my my very favorite hour and a half we've had in this addict. It was so intellectually stimulating. She's so smart and well-spoken and fun. So I really hope everyone on Thursday will check out Experts on Expert.
We get support from Quince.
Have you been wearing the Quince linen shirts?
Yeah, I've been wearing them a suspicious amount. Yeah, European linen ones, they're $34, which is genuinely insane for how nice they are.
It doesn't even make sense.
Well, here's the deal. They work directly with the factories, cut out all the middlemen, so you're paying for the actual quality and not some brand's marketing budget. Everything's 50 to 80% less than comparable stuff. I love it because it's all very classic and traditional, and I know I'm going to be able to keep it for a very long time, and the quality's off the charts.
That's true. The style is very consistent. Whatever you get there, you walk down the street, you're going to look good. They have these lightweight cotton sweaters, which I love for when it cools down at night. It's nice drape around your shoulders in the summer and then throw it on when it gets a little cool. And it's not just clothes. They do home stuff, ding, 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 travel stuff, everyday essentials. It's all the same model, quality without the markup.
Make your summer wardrobe easier. Go to quince.com/Dax for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/Dax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Dax. We are supported by Auto Trader. All right, if you've been putting off car shopping because it sounds like a whole thing, buying your car online on Auto Trader makes it way easier, really. You can shop tons of cars online, compare prices, check financing and trade-in options, all from wherever you are. And if you want to start online and go to the dealership for a test drive, you can do that too, really. What I like is the flexibility. Start online, finish at the dealer, or the other way around. Your info stays with you, so you're not starting the process from scratch. Plus, you're working with local dealer listings, so you've got real people helping behind the scenes. And when you're ready, you can pick up your car or have it delivered. Really. Buy your car online on AutoTrader. Really.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
Okay, Rob, you recording? Erika Christensen, longtime sister. Welcome to the Armchair Expert.
Thank you so much.
I'm really excited that you're here. You were highly requested.
That's
You are.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me feel nice, guys.
Yeah. But we've known each other for a long time prior to Parenthood.
Yeah, it was probably 10 years before Parenthood or something. Is that?
I feel like you're much better at dates than I am. But let's start with you were in traffic in 2000. Okay, let's use that as a little benchmark.
Okay, so
of
that was
time.
18 years ago.
Okay, so how old were you?
17.
Okay. And I met you after Swimfan. And Swimfan is 2002?
That is correct. 2002. At least, did we shoot it? Whatever. Yeah, 2002.
Basically, at some point, I'm going to need to make these dates work where you were an adult when I met you.
I was 19.
Before I can say that, I thought you were hot and all that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so you were probably 19.
Yeah.
And we met because you hung out with all the 70 Show kids.
Yeah, it was completely my social world.
Right.
Like, it was a lot of people's social world.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a hub. I mean, it's crazy on a Friday night on shoot night. It was like 50 other kids that we would just come hang out.
Yeah, 100 audience members and 200 guests.
Yeah, that were just
those guys.
there. Didn't even watch the show. We're just going into all the dressing rooms.
Yes. And I was late to that because I shot Punked with Kutcher.
Yeah.
And then he invited me, but that was like year 6 or 7. So you
really?
were already well established in that group.
God, I guess so. Because I think we shot Traffic between season 1 and 2 of 70s, maybe that early.
And you were involved with those guys well, you knew Danny for a long, long time, right?
Yeah, but I mean, tangential socially.
Okay.
But then it was Topher and Traffic.
Okay. Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
that was
your gateway
Yeah.
into.
And so I guess, I don't know, he must have just invited me, like, come hang out on a shoot night. And then it was like, welcome to this world. Here, have some friends.
Welcome to this world of 20-year-old millionaires who all own homes and are applauded every night. It's a pretty wild thing to witness.
Yeah.
I mean, less so for you probably having grown up in LA, but for me, for sure, I was like, look, all these young people have Escalades and Corvettes and shit. And it just seemed like the high school had won the lottery or something.
Yeah.
And then whenever I'd go visit, like there'd be, especially in Wilmer's, there would be a different car every time in Wilmer's parking spot. And I'm like, this is amazing. This guy's like 22 and just living like a lottery winner.
Yeah.
And they were all very, very friendly.
Yeah.
Nice, welcoming, inclusive folks.
And so on point at work, which is great that like the show didn't suffer. Everybody was still funny. Everybody was still just there when it came time for their scene, even though they're out like playing craps.
Yes, and drinking probably.
Probably.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like
I saw some
super
light drinking,
ignorant.
I think.
Some light drinking, yeah. But during the shoot, or I mean, afterward, for hours.
Yes,
certainly.
definitely heavily afterwards. But
Yeah.
I feel like maybe a couple of lube up cocktails just to loosen up before you take the stage.
Totally plausible.
I feel like I saw that, but maybe I imagined it.
I don't know.
Another unique thing about them is it was strife for jealousy, which I did not witness because you had like, say, Ashton at that time had a #1 opening movie with
Right.
Just Married or whatever, and then Topher had been in Traffic, and people are doing different things, but no one's seemingly getting jealous of one another. They're all very supportive and loving.
Yeah.
That's pretty unique.
Yeah, it was very cool to witness. They were very supportive of each other, and
let's just for a half a second, for people who have not met Wilmer Valderrama in real life, I don't think people have any sense of what he's like in real life. Of actors I know in on screen and off screen.
yeah.
In real life, Wilmer, could we say he's like top 5 sexiest human beings to ever live? Do you think that would be fair?
Sure.
He's so charismatic in person, right?
He literally, I feel like the first time that I met him, he grabbed me and said, "Let's run away together." And I was like, what is this?
And part of you was saying, fuck yeah, when do we leave, right?
Yes.
What do I need to bring?
Do you need to wait
Just
for
your-
curtain call and
just
then
your
we
dancing
go?
shoes. And then not only is his personality that, like, very outgoing, very funny, very smiley, charming, but to see this man dance, yeah, Monica, I know you think Bruno Mars, the sun rises
do.
and sets on his dancing,
I
and it
do.
is
I
exceptional.
stand by that.
It's an exceptional dancing. But Wilmer is a better dancer.
No.
Let me tell you why. He and his sister, remind me of his
Impossible.
sister's name.
Marilyn.
Marilyn and he grew up as kids dancing tango together. Is that what dance they were doing in
salsa?
Venezuela?
I wouldn't say it would be tango. It must have been salsa, yeah.
My whiteness is going to really show through here.
Sure.
But suffice to say, I'd never seen this variety of dancing, and it was as electric as anything I've ever witnessed. And every time we would all go out to any kind of nightclub or whatever, those two would invariably do some of these routines they knew as kids. And it was like whatever Dancing with the Stars is times 4, those two.
God.
Because they had been dancing together as
Yeah.
infants.
They built a
Yeah.
routine.
Yeah.
And also when you say every time we would go out, that was very frequent.
Yes, every Friday night was followed by.
Certainly every Friday night. And then there was the whole just Pantera Sarah's week.
Who was a
schedule.
club promoter who kind of knew every night to be at every club, right?
Yeah.
I was never tight with her, but you were very tight with her, right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. She has certainly much closer friendships, but like we had a love, and I certainly respected basically what her business was. Like
Yes.
she built a social structure
Mm-hmm.
that was like, well, if you want to see your friends on Monday
Yeah.
night, then you better go to Joseph's because that's where they are.
Right.
You know?
And I never got to like dive head first into that because I was also living with my girlfriend, and I could only go out maybe twice a week when she was working nights at the restaurant. So I couldn't do like Monday Joseph's or Tuesday
You would
Cabana
be dead.
Room.
You'd be dead.
I would have been dead, yeah.
Thank
The most
God
I
you
could
weren't.
handle
Thank
was
God.
a
Yeah.
weekend. Back to Wilmer's sex appeal.
Okay. It all circles back.
I can't, and I'm going to resist the urge to compare it to something food oriented because again, that's too dicey. But white hot flame of sexual appeal from this guy.
Yeah. Some people really own it.
Yes,
Like, and he just owns it.
he oozed sex appeal.
Like he knew that you don't pump the brakes on this. You just let it flow. You know?
I'd find myself even as a male talking to him, just kind of getting mixed up and confused and lost in what was happening because he also has a super charming accent and everything, and he's talking very smooth. I can't say enough about him.
That's great.
And then let's just get right to this then. So one night at Wilmer's house, I took a nude swim.
Correct.
Right. And we were
Just
discussing
you.
just
Yeah.
shockingly just me.
Just lots of people were swimming. One person was skinny dipping.
I had not brought a swimsuit. In my defense, I was drinking. You and I we share most of the people I know professionally I've never really drank around.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's so interesting. It's so satisfying. I have actually that with a few other people that I basically knew like when they were kids, you know, and when they were wild. And then to see kind of the growth and the wisdom and all of that accumulate and all kinds of whatever it is that gets them to be passionate about life in a new way.
Yeah.
To see that adulthood is so cool.
And for you, you were so immersed in this younger acting community, you must have also seen tons of fatalities. I mean, whether literally or just you've witnessed some stuff, right? Where people they self-sabotaged or they just took themselves out.
Yeah. Yeah. Whether literally or not, certainly. Thankfully, nobody's jumping into my mind right now.
Right.
But it's funny too, because I think that there was probably a level of ignorance I had about what was going on. Just like you were saying, like you were part of the drinking, likely if there was drinking going on, or it's just that thing of like when you're pregnant, you see pregnant people everywhere.
Yes.
It's so you were aware of things on a level that I, just not being a drinker,
Yes.
never was.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't drink until, I mean, like I had a half of a drink here and there or something like that, but I didn't have more than one drink in a night until my 21st birthday. And then I was kind of bummed about it because it affected my balance and I wanted to be dancing.
Well, I'm going to go through a laundry list of what I think are unique, eclectic character traits of Erika Christensen, because you are definitely in my top 10 most unique friends. Just as a person that came out of the womb this way, I'm presuming. But that right there, you didn't drink.
Right.
Everyone drank and you didn't drink. And I was intermittently fascinated with that because I was often trying to quit drinking or maybe quitting for 3 months. So then when I would notice someone else wasn't drinking, I was uniquely drawn to that.
Yeah.
And I would be saying to you, like, why aren't you drinking? As if it was impossible to. And you just, I could tell you had zero attachment to it one way or another. You're just like, oh, I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm like, what does that mean?
It's so funny because it just wasn't part of the equation. Like it just didn't calculate.
And do you think that's from parenting? Like, had you been kind of warned, like, hey, stay in control of yourself. Don't do that.
Well, it's definitely parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that, the warningness, but like tempered with no set like rules and potential punishments and that kind of thing, like nothing to rebel against, essentially.
Oh, uh-huh.
And so when I remember, I think the first drink I ever had was I went to a frat party with a friend when I was 16.
Oh, very dangerous.
And yeah, and was looking around like, okay, I'm not relating to much of any of this, but okay, I can have a beer. And so like had half a beer and was like not taken with it and was like, cool. Got a little buzz from a half a beer. And then went home and told my mom, I went to this party and had half a beer. And she was like, oh. I was like, okay, cool.
Okay, so
yeah,
is this neutral?
Yeah, she had already given me a bunch of her viewpoint about essentially retaining your lucidity and not for safety reasons, but just the value of that, the pure value of lucidity. And that's, I think, what hit home to me and what struck me and what I took pride in and what I still do, you know?
And you know what's so interesting is that is also the same, I believe, well, personally, motive for why you get fucked up is I find lucidity oppressive sometimes. You know, like my mind is very, very busy and I need a fucking break from it sometimes. So like that over clarity maybe that I think I have on certain things or the obsessive mind, that lucidity is cumbersome for me sometimes.
I totally understand that. And I know I've talked to other people who have said the same thing. Like, I got there's an off button, like, please. Like,
yeah.
But
I want the punch out card
Can
occasionally
I
on the
clock
wall.
out?
Yeah. Give me 8 hours here.
Oh, yeah. Take a nap. Do you still get your 8 hours?
I'm doing better. I have a magic bed right now that tracks my sleep.
What?
Yeah, when I wake up in the morning now, I look at this app and it tells me like when I got out of bed, how long I was restless, what my heart rate was, my oxygen level. As with everything else, I just basically wake up and I look at Kristen, how good her sleep was compared to mine. And that's really all it's about. I'm like, you got twice as good a sleep as me last night.
In the same amount of time.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah, because she goes, that head hits the pillow and sayonara suck ass, she's gone.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. Cole,
Do you
too.
fall right asleep?
No.
Okay, good.
No, I definitely
You should
don't.
try drinking.
Oh.
It's a great relief.
You know, I never thought of that.
Wouldn't that be great if the end result of this whole thing was
I took up drinking?
that I somehow can talk you into becoming an alcoholic?
You're such a peer pressure.
I am. Monica hates this about me. She thinks I'm a bad peer pressurer, which I am. Because Monica is very enlightened, very smart, did great in college, just an overachiever across the board. And I said to her, you're going to die not knowing what having taken mushrooms is like? Doesn't that bother you? Don't you want to have that experience before you leave the planet?
I could care less.
No, see, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I can justify things in all kinds of different ways, but basically, like, as a Scientologist.
Yeah.
And I definitely cannot speak for every Scientologist about anything.
Right.
Because everybody has their own beliefs and comes at it from even other religions and all kinds of stuff. However, I don't believe this is the first time I have lived on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically think I've probably done absolutely everything before.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you don't have that panic I have where it's like, I got to stand on top of the Sears Tower. I got to fucking dig a hole that brings water.
Clock is ticking. Clock is ticking.
Yes, I always feel like the clock
I
is
know.
ticking.
That can be very
That's a
useful.
peaceful. Like I don't need to win an Academy Award this go round. I might do it 3 times.
You might
from
already
now.
have 6.
I might have 6, and maybe that's why I don't care. Oh my God, that could be it.
Yeah, that could be it.
Well, before we get into Scientology, because I want to, because you and I have had many great conversations over the years about it, because we worked together for 6 years, and I like talking about that kind of stuff, and you are very open about it.
I love that you're curious about deeper things. Like, what do people actually believe? Not just like,
Yes.
what are you driving?
And I think it'd be useful for me to give, because I can take either side of the argument, which I'm a fan of doing. If I'm talking to
Great.
people who are super critical of Scientology, these are the things I'll point out. You're going to definitely correct me, but I'm just going to go against the common perception of some things.
Okay.
But let's just say I'm talking with somebody and that person says, oh, they believe in aliens. Okay. And then they say, oh, and they got to pay all this money to be in the religion.
Mm-hmm.
And then I point out, okay, let's say they believe in aliens. I find aliens to be, at least scientifically speaking, a lot more plausible than a man in the sky that has a beard who had a son who sent the sun down to planet Earth only to be killed to come back up to him. Yet there's still 3 of them. There's those 2 and the Holy Ghost. That isn't more plausible than aliens. So just if the genesis of both religions, you can't say one's crazier just by its concept. Even if you believe there's aliens. Again, this is where you'll probably go, we don't believe in aliens. But even if you do or don't, let's just say you do for the sake of this.
Oh, sure. Okay, good. I think I do.
Okay, great.
I think it's pretty plausible. Like the fact that we would be completely alone in this universe.
Well, there's
seems
billions and
implausible.
billions of stars just within our cluster, and we're
Yes.
we're in a cluster of galaxies that are a cluster of cluster of cluster of it's whatever.
The universe is infinite.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare. This episode is supported by Helix. All right, let's talk about something we both really care deeply about: sleep.
It's the most important thing. I've had my Helix mattress for years now, and I genuinely think it's one of the best investments you can make for your home. Mine still feels just like it did when I first got it.
Well, that's the thing. It's not one of those mattresses that caves in after 6 months. These things are built to last. And, I'm a side sleeper. I ordered a side sleeper, and I get hot, so I have cooling. And I can't tell you how much more comfortable it is to be in there, not sweating and tossing and turning.
Cooling is really important. I've read that you're supposed to sleep a little bit cold.
Mm-hmm.
So I also have cooling. And they have over 20 models, so it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. You just go take their quiz, and they match you to what actually works for your body.
Plus, they've got cooling upgrades, which heading into summer, non-negotiable.
Truly.
Go to helixsleep.com/armchair for 20% off. That's helixsleep.com/armchair for 20% off. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/armchair. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. So, Monica, here's something that really stuck with me. BetterHelp's 2026 State of Stigma report surveyed 2,000 Americans and revealed that 85% of Americans believe getting support is wise. Yet 74% say society discourages people from doing so.
That's a huge gap. Most of us agree therapy is a good thing, but there's still something holding some people back from actually going.
Right. And I think that's where just talking about it, normalizing it makes a difference.
I mean, as you know, I'm obsessed with therapy. I've been in it consistently for years and years and years. And I have said this and I shouldn't say it, but I do think if you're struggling and you've been struggling for a while and you haven't sought therapy, I judge you a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah, I know. And I got to go to therapy to work on that, but also there are options for you. You can help yourself. And BetterHelp makes that first step easier. They match you with a licensed therapist based on your needs. And with over 30,000 therapists and 12 plus years of experience, they typically get the match right the first time.
Don't let stigma stand in the way of support. Start therapy with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/Dax. That's betterhelp.com/Dax. This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place.
Let's talk bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, but it does not have to be that way.
With SoFi high yield checking and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit.
No account or overdraft fees, which feels rare these days. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, perfect for getting ahead of a bill or grabbing what you need right when you need it.
Plus, get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at SoFi.com/armchair. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply.
So from the get-go, it's not more preposterous than any of our main religions, being Judeo-Christian or Islam. And then money, you got to pay a lot of money to go through the ranks. Well, to that I say my grandparents were Baptists, and they were expected to and did give 10% of their income to the church.
Yeah.
One of the 5 pillars of Islam is donations. So there is generally a financial commitment to any major religion. So in that, there's nothing really different. And then third, there are people there that they'll say slaves that work for nothing to blah, blah, blah. And I'll say, how much are the choir boys getting? How much are the guys who carry the stuff in the Catholic procession? Like the service to your church is also very, very, very normal. And then to your point, which I think we should get out from the get-go, and I'm glad you said it, is you have your take on Scientology. You're not speaking for Scientology. You're not saying what everyone's relationship with it.
Surely.
I too am in a group that people think is a cult, which is AA. And there are as many different people that you know at your crowded bar room. That's how many different kinds of people are in AA. So you could meet someone in AA who's a fucking lunatic. No question.
Sure.
And his interpretation of AA I might think is batshit crazy. And his likewise of mine, he would think was crazy, right? So I don't think either of us will be speaking for either of our organizations at all, right? With that said, what is also unique about you is there are, in my experience with Scientologists in LA, which I know probably a dozen,
Yeah.
there are people who found it, and there are people that were raised Scientologists.
Right.
And you were raised Scientologists, correct?
Right. It's funny because I like to really be specific about that too, because it's hard to raise someone as a Scientologist because it's something that you do. It's not something that you believe. And so my parents definitely are Scientologists, approached parenting from a Scientology viewpoint. I know that now as an adult. I can see that in the way that they approached me as a kid, and really trying to do what I'm doing now as a parent, which is trying to temper absolutely necessary discipline and rules and structure with fostering independent thought and freedom of personality. Just it has to be true for you. It can't, don't take anybody's word for anything ever, basically,
Right.
without being a cynic or without being,
Closed-minded.
some kind of paranoiac. Yeah, it's just what do you have if you don't have yourself? So that, and then various things like, drinking and drugs and stuff like that. We basically think it's counterproductive. Like,
right.
if you get down to it.
And again, I'll point out my understanding of it, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but
Sure.
drugs for sure that's just off the table for Scientologists, right?
Yeah.
Drinking is allowed, and right.
Absolutely.
Scientologists drink,
Yeah.
but they generally do not do drugs and are strongly urged never to do drugs.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it as the action of Scientology, when you are picking apart the chronology of your life and its effects upon you, it really helps to have that lucidity. And so, it's almost, now I'm circling back to the other topic, but it's almost just selfish on my part. I want to be able to remember everything. I want to be smart.
You want to be at your peak.
I do.
Right.
And I want to consider that I'm always just driving toward my best self.
Yes. You were homeschooled. Was that based on being Scientologist or being a child actor, or a combination of both?
Being an actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a practical thing because I was spending so much time in classes and auditions and work and all that stuff. So, but communication being just the key to solving any problem. That's I feel like that's where my parents really also succeeded in making themselves safe to talk to.
Yeah.
So that when I did go and say, I had my first beer, I told them instead of going, I'm going to be in such deep shit. Like, I can't do that. And then driving and like really getting into the phenomena of just teenager dumb where everything they say is wrong, no matter what it is. And,
Yeah.
and just like, it's so defensive.
Mm-hmm.
I never had to be so defensive because I was like, well, this happened.
Well, let's just say that you did take the path of either I'm going to lie about it or I'm going to be in trouble. So now your brain gets very busy going, okay, so I'm going to be in trouble. So I'm going to explain to them, well, Mike and Jenny also drink, right? And I'm the only person that doesn't drink, right? So now you're creating this entire chatter in your head, this fake argument that's going to ensue, and you're bolstering your side of the case, right? So now you're occupying your whole brain with your side of the case that's inevitably coming your way.
Yep.
Or you're going to lie to him, and now you're building like, well, did you drink tonight? No, because we went to Kathy's, and Kathy's mom is evangelical, and there's no booze in that. You like
both so exhausted.
You're completely off to the races, right? In either direction,
and you dig your heels in so hard when you know that, like when you're going, well, Mike and Jenny also drink it, da da da. So you can't own it. You can't be like, I'm not sure if that was the right thing to do if you are already on the defense.
Right. Yeah. It would be a defeat to admit error.
Exactly.
Right.
It's me against you right now, and I have to win this, and which is always the case.
Right.
With like all of life, you know?
Yeah.
And they were never like, you need to go to church or anything like that too. It was like, this is what we're interested in. These are some of the things that we believe.
Oh, so you were not required. They didn't go like, oh, you're going in, you're taking a tour, never.
No, it was like, we think this is a good idea.
Uh-huh.
Would you check it out? You know, and always with the choice, and always I was like, yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was a kid. I was like, well, it sounds cool to me. Fine. And then when I was like 12, I started doing a bunch of the little introductory courses that they still have now, that a few hours maybe each.
And they're guided by some type of teacher.
They're not a teacher. It's a supervisor, because it's between you and the text. But if you get stuck not understanding something, the dictionary, they're right there. You know, they're going to help you out.
Well, yeah, and then so let's just go again. This is all my layman's, what I think I've gathered over the years. But one of the big tenets, right, in Scientology or the learning technology is clearing words, right? So
absolutely.
When you're reading something and you come across a word, which we all do, and you don't know what it means, and you just think, whatever, I'll blow by it. Maybe the context afterward will help me understand what that was. Now everything after that moment, after you've passed this word that you don't understand, now all the information you're going to gather after that is going to be a little bit skewed. Is that, do I have it right?
You do.
So one of the recommendations is that folks carry a dictionary, or they have one around it all, or,
well, yeah,
access to. If you're going to sit down and study something.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should do it with a dictionary. And then every time you get to any word you're even a little bit confused about, you're obligated to really look it up and really understand it before you go forward.
Right. All the definitions that are in use, if they're archaic definitions, whatever, but just, you don't want to keep running into the same word again. It's a different definition, and you ignored that last time. So it's a very thorough process. Okay, there's 4 different definitions. There's 2 verbs and 2 adjectives. Oh, and there's this noun one. That's super weird. Nobody ever uses it like that, but it's grammatically correct. Part of the English language. Fine, and you clear it. And then you look at the etymology of it. Comes from Latin, mostly,
Yeah.
Check it out. And then you get it, and it becomes that part of you that you don't have to like fill in the blank with, as you're reading the sentence. You know how you do that sometimes, how you're like, and the synonym for that word.
Yeah, conversely to clearing words, I actually enjoy the challenge of, I have no fucking clue what that word is, but I guarantee with 5 more sentences, I'll be able to figure out what they meant.
Yeah.
Like, I almost enjoy that challenge of it.
That's a fun game.
Yeah, that's just the Dak Shepard approach.
No, totally.
Yeah, and maybe probably informed by being dyslexic, where I was like, if I had to look up every fucking word, I would have just the dictionary would know. Now, did you find that laborious as a kid, or did you find it fun, like little bits of research?
I think it's just kind of, to me, it was just like part of like, that's schooling, and being of a school age, it just kind of made sense.
I have to imagine it built a real, you probably have quite a catalog words in your vocabulary from having done that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Cole loves to challenge me. He
Uh-huh.
loves, he's like, there's
Cole's-
no way you've heard of this word. What does this mean? And I'm like, oh yeah, it means, and he's like, no way.
Cole is Erica's very, very handsome, physically fit, mustachioed husband,
All
which we'll
correct.
get into.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. So around 12, you start doing it, and then you start liking it. And are they giving you tools to go through your normal trials and tribulations as a 12-year-old? Like, are they?
Yeah.
They're giving you kind of like techniques to use when you run into challenging situations, even at that age.
Sure. The names of those introductory courses are like success through communication, right? How to genuinely communicate one person to another, not just like talk at each other.
And there's a really simple thing about this too. It's been explained to me by one of our mutual friends. Which, yes, when Scientologists talk to people, they're committed to listening, right? Isn't there's like a specific approach to listening?
Well, it's literally just that it's my turn to be receiving. If you are talking to me, I'm not supposed to be talking to you. I'm supposed to be listening to you.
What about planning the next thing you're going to say while you're talking to me?
No, that's not listening.
Oh, bummer.
Because whatever it is, you could give an example as if we're just playing ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't be throwing and catching at the same time. You've got the ball, you're throwing to me, and that means I'm catching.
Yeah.
And once I've received the ball, cool.
Which is also an acting exercise that they play
Yeah.
with young kid actors. Someone was just telling us
May.
about. Oh yeah, May was explaining that she had an acting coach that kind of explained listening and talking to her by doing that on a set,
Yeah,
which is fascinating.
it's great. You would just hope that the person that you're listening to can actually express the concept that they want you to grasp.
Yeah.
And so your goal is to be able to grasp what it is that they're telling you.
Yes.
And vice versa. You'd hope that what you're trying to express is actually grasped as a
Yeah,
concept.
but it does sound like you're actually making an effort, which is one of my soapbox things of you're making an effort to understand the person's point of view, which I don't think anyone teaches us really. It's almost like from the second you engage, it's like you're trying to plant your flag in their brain or vice versa. I think it comes from insecurity that like if you actually let that person's point of view seep into your brain enough and really be empathetic enough to really try on that hat, that your stance may change.
Right.
I think there's fear in that. I think that's part of the reason we're so resistant to it. Like, God, if I really do hear them out and I really imagine myself going through all those steps, maybe I'll reverse my position, and that's scary to people.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's scary to me. It's scary to, I think, most people.
Yeah.
What did I just reverse my position on, Monica?
I forget.
Oh, it was really a good
It was
one.
a silly
Yeah, sorry to
one.
interrupt.
What
Yeah.
was it?
No, it's very brave of you.
It's so stupid. Monica said the other day, look, you have changed your opinion on something.
Yeah, it was. I wish I could remember. We said remember, and I forgot, which is unlike me.
And I bet we'll have it by the fact check.
Yeah.
So at any rate, yes, the willingness to really hear someone out without fear that your position's going to crumble, right, under this new point of view is just kind of a healthy endeavor
Yeah.
for a lot of folks.
Yeah. Well, it brings me to another interesting Scientology principle, which is that in a confusion, also likening it to a physical thing, if you're in a storm with leaves blowing all around you, it's disorienting and confusing. And when you're losing, well, okay. And so what you do to solve that is grab one piece, and that's where you start, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else is related to that.
Right, like you've zeroed in your focus and your literal eye focus and then your attention to one thing.
Right.
Right, and you can.
And so you can do that mentally with any subject, and you can be completely wrong in the leaf that you grab, but you feel so much better to have a leaf.
Right.
And so if someone's trying to pry it out of your hands, it's you feel the
your reality is going to
disorientation. Yes.
crumble. Yeah.
And so if you're willing to just wait that out and then decide if you're going to grab a new leaf, then you can calm back down as soon as you have a new one, but you need to have a stable datum against which to relate everything else.
Right.
But it's so uncomfortable to go through the switching
Yes.
that it makes you feel like you're wrong, and it makes you feel like you're losing part of your identity and all of those things.
Yes.
And so,
And our identity, once that is even remotely threatened, that's where the worst side of ourselves comes out, because that's what we're protecting, as if it were our children or our source of food. Like, that's very threatening to people. Okay, so then what physical steps, like when you I'm sure find yourself in situations where it's very chaotic and all this is happening, and what is it that you tell yourself to steady yourself and be able to focus?
it's basically like, well, say it's a decision that needs to be made.
Yeah.
Is that like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you have all these factors, and basically the step-by-step process that I could put myself through is it's written out by L. Ron Hubbard, and it's called the doubt formula. And you can go through it, and basically, I mean, it's like an expansion of like a pros and cons list, where you evaluate what are my intentions for this thing, and then what are the other intentions, and then did the intentions and actions of these two things match up, or do
So
they
let's
not
do
match up?
hypothetical. You get
Okay.
offered a job next
Right.
week in New York City to be on a new TV show.
Yeah.
And so what? In your mind, well, I have a kid and I have one on the way. That goes in the cons list, right? Do I want to be traveling to New York with two babies?
Right. Well, it wouldn't be in the cons list. It would be, what are my intentions? So my intentions are to preserve my family unit, whatever, continue on that way.
Right.
And then what are the intentions of this show? Who knows? Maybe they really, really respect that, and they want to make that transition as smooth as possible and figure out how to have my family life there and all that. I don't know. I have to find out.
Okay, right.
But say they're like, no, make it work. I'm like, okay, good. So noted. Their intentions are to make their TV show under whatever circumstances, my family be damned. And then go through that way. And, and just look at all of the intentions and all of the resulting actions from those intentions, and essentially the efficacy of those actions in accomplishing those things. So even you could find that, we're totally on the same page with the intentions, but the actions are really not working. So I don't want to join in your actions when you're like failing at whatever you're doing.
Right.
And you just take yourself through until it becomes clear. Yeah, I need to be on your team about this or not.
And do you find that you're a decisive person, that you generally can come to a decision that you feel good about and don't regret?
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny because if you are just asking if I'm a decisive person, I feel like I'm better at making the bigger choices than the smaller choices. I don't tend to regret those like real life changing ones.
Show in New York. Yeah.
But then if I get stuck on something and it's just not feeling like I'm able to do it, then I have to do the doubt formula. I don't have to always do it.
Right.
A lot of the time you're like gathering the information from the other person and you're just like, oh yeah, that's not going to work.
Right. There's some instinctual gut level stuff too.
Yeah. Or you just know yourself well enough to see like that doesn't match up.
Yes. Or I've done this in the past and it didn't pan out, or right. I think people, myself including, could get really bogged down in what the theory is behind certain things at the expense of evaluating the outcome, right? So, for instance, there are many parts of AA that I think are either misogynistic because it was written in the 30s, or way too God-centric for my taste. There's a whole batch of things in there I maybe don't agree with. But then if I look at the results of this thing, and the results are these people were either going to be dead in prison or in an insane asylum, and now they're healthy, thriving, and have kids, right? I could choose to continue to focus on these three elements that I disagree with in theory, or I can just look at the results and care a little bit more about that. Like, it's a choice I get to make.
That's awesome.
I'm naturally not drawn to Scientology just because you and I, this was one of the long debates we had in a car driving back from Seth's wedding.
Yeah.
Do you remember this? And this was one of my one issues with it was, okay, so there's a book, Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard.
Right.
It teaches you how to go clear.
Right.
There is a Bible. There's a Bible. That's all the information there is on Catholicism is in that Bible.
Right.
So why is there a priest? I don't understand why there's a priest who has to tell me what the meaning of the words in that book is. That's always been my objection to Catholicism is why is there a hierarchy when it's based on a text, we all have the ability to read the text. No one's a better or worse interpreter of text. It's just, I mean, that's not true. Obviously, some people can't interpret what they read, but all things being equal, the Pope and I have the same intellect and the same reading comprehension level. Why on earth does that guy know more about the same book that we both read? And why has he been elevated to a position of power and authority? I don't trust that.
Totally
And
valid.
so my
reasoning.
criticism at one point of yours was, well, if this is based on text, why on earth are there levels? Why is there a hierarchy? Why is there a president? One of the only things I think is absolutely miraculous about AAA is it's a completely structureless organization. There is no presidents. There's no secretaries. There's no nothing. Nobody knows more than anyone else. Dude with 2 days sobriety has just a valid opinion as I do with 13.
That is amazing.
That's magic.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'll say is the coolest part of AA, right?
Yeah.
So, and then what was your defense of that when I was saying, I don't understand why you, Erika Christensen, who I know is as smart as a motherfucker and has access to the text, why would you need instruction from someone else? Or why would you elevate or put faith in someone above you when it's based on a text?
Well, mostly I don't. And I don't remember what I would have said at the time because this was
Well, I recorded it so I can play.
this was 7 years ago. But basically, you're absolutely right. You read something and your relationship is with the information there and your observation of those things as true in the world around you or not. Now, there is definitely as far as the levels, it's just that you don't take trig like before you finished your arithmetic. And they're not going to let you read it. They're going to say, no, finish your addition and multiplication tables before you get there.
Right.
Because it's not going to make any sense.
Because you're saying like let's say level 7 has 6 levels of prerequisite knowledge.
Exactly.
That you couldn't really even comprehend what you would be reading.
Yeah. It's just sequence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what I started to say it and then I got sidetracked with our debate, which is, I know a lot of Scientologists, and I don't think I agree with many of the tenets or maybe the origin, or I might not hold L. Ron Hubbard in the same degree that you guys do, any of that stuff. Almost unilaterally, all the Scientologists I know, very happy, pretty damn healthy, pretty productive, pretty responsible, great communicators. So when I can get bogged down in like, the history of L. Ron Hubbard and certain things like this, or I kind of just go like, fuck man, I know 12 of them, they're super duper happy and they're doing their thing. And I can just look at the results of this thing and I can say whether or not I agree with it, it's totally working for you guys. We have a lot of mutual friends where I'm like, yeah, they're some of my favorite people and they're happy as hell.
Yeah. And some of them have overcome a lot to get there and all of that. That's very cool. That's really taking a step back on your part to be able to observe that. It's kind of what L. Ron Hubbard is saying throughout Dianetics and throughout a lot of his books. He's like, listen, you don't have to believe this, but this keeps happening, so it seems to be true. So look at this from that viewpoint. Yeah. Because I know it sounds crazy. And like a bunch of people that were doing it in 1950 when he wrote the book were like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, listen, it works when you do it this way.
Right.
So that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to believe it.
How much of the critique have you consumed? Any of it?
No, because I don't think that it comes from an actual place of like your critiques of like, I don't think it comes from critical thinking. I think it comes more from maybe that phenomena we're talking about of being threatened. Something goes against what somebody believes and really identifies with. And so they feel very threatened and go on the attack about something. And so I just think it doesn't really have anything to do with me and my relationship with these books and the things that I do.
Well, I met a really cool dude at the White House Correspondents' Dinner like 4 years ago, and he happened to be high up in the Huffington Post or some newspaper or journalistic thing. And we got to talking, and then it came up that I was sober, and he goes, oh, I'd really like your input on this piece we've been working on for like months. There's been the stages of it, and it's all about the opioid epidemic. And this kind of controversial use of Suboxone, this pill you can take that will prevent you basically from ODing or has good success in doing that.
Oh, wow.
He said, and I would like your opinion on it. And I said, yeah, I'd be happy to give you my opinion. So I end up reading all of their stuff, you know, and generally in AA, we're pretty anti-Suboxone. We're pretty anti another pill you take to, and it does get you are in an altered state even when you're on this thing. Right. And so,
It's like methadone.
yes, it's a better methadone, I guess. And at the risk of, I don't really know that much. Don't take my word. I don't want to get sued by whoever owns Suboxone. But, you know, most of us are pretty much against it because we don't really know how you end up doing the real work that really caused you to be an alcoholic to begin with if you're in an altered state.
Right.
While you're trying to do that work.
Right.
And
it's a cheat for
well,
sure.
and my point to him was, well, let's just go, because their argument, which is very solid, and I understand why it has traction, is look, all that being said, sure, they're not going to do it perfect like you want to, but a fucking 100 teenagers are dying a year in Cincinnati. And your little high on a soapbox stance about evolving as a person and self-actualization, albeit maybe a good goal, these are people's kids that are going to fucking die. And if we give them this pill, we find that they don't die in 2 years at a third of the rate was when people just go to treatment and try to do it without it. Right. So that's a really compelling, great argument.
Yeah.
And then I ended up saying, well, great. And if that's the bar, if that's what we're just trying to prevent overdoses, then let's go a step further. Let's just have one of these like diabetic implant systems you have. And soon as someone you detect is ODing from an opioid, just shoot them back up with adrenaline so they can just keep going. Like if that's all we're doing, then, but I don't think anyone would get on board with a pump that administers adrenaline when you've OD'd as a solution to this problem.
Yeah.
It all got very complicated, but I bring that up only to say, I read a lot of critique of AA in those pieces. And then it also brought me down a rabbit hole of reading other like academic critiques of it in its kind of brainwashing capabilities and its cult-like attributes and all these things. And now I'm fine reading that. You know what I'm saying? Like I can read that. I can even acknowledge a lot of those points are really good points. And then I also just then step back and go, yeah, but I have 2 kids and a wife now, and that was impossible before AA. So you might be right, but I don't really care. I'm still going to stay on this path.
Right.
But I'm open to that critique. And most of my Scientology friends that I've asked about it, which I'm always nervous about asking because I don't want to offend anyone, but I always wonder, why couldn't you just watch the Going Clear documentary or something?
Because honestly, it doesn't have anything to do with
what you're doing.
Well, yeah, and honestly, with anything that I've ever learned about the group or organization as a group or organization, there are to be specific about that one.
Yeah.
Like if somebody has read Dianetics or some Scientology book and wants to philosophically tell me what they disagree with, cool. Like that is a totally different thing. Or to say like I disagree with organized religion and I disagree with it, like that's all fine. But specifically with that documentary, the documentary was based on a book. The book was not even published certain English speaking countries because the libel laws are stricter than they are here. It's so, there's so much that is actually talking about sources. Right? Since I can't refer to specific data.
Yeah.
Talking about sources, they have proved themselves to be irrelevant. And so it's like with certain political figures, when there came a point where you just reached like, oh, it doesn't matter what he says.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Like where you realize that like, oh, it literally doesn't matter what he says. He's lying.
Right.
There are people like that. Like that's what I look at mostly is the source. And I get to evaluate the source and go, oh, okay. That person has been convicted of perjury previously.
Right.
So no, there's nothing like there's no relevance
in what they're saying. Have you though had any really close personal friends over the years who have left?
As a kid, it was more like people, kids that were like, nah, not for me.
Right.
Which I totally understand. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, Southern Baptist wasn't for me, as it turned out.
Right.
Yeah. Although, man, no better food than after Southern Baptist Church. At least the way they did it in Michigan, man.
Man.
That long sermon ended where you could barely get through it. My grandpa would slap my brother and I 20 times. Side note, we loved yelling amen. That's the only thing that got us through church is that they yelled amen. You know, they were permitted to yell amen. And so my brother and I would try it. We would think we could feel it out and we would just yell amen. It was never the time to yell amen and we get smacked. But anyway, immediately after you walk right outside and in the backyard in a grassy lawn, there's like 7 picnic tables and it is fucking barbecue time.
Ooh, game on.
It was worth it for me. Yeah. If you ever break down and you're hungry, find the closest Southern Baptist church on a Sunday and dig in.
They really leaned into the southern part.
They really they embraced it.
Yeah.
Well, they were all from Kentucky, so I think that's why that. I'm going to go completely off the topic for 1 second because on that same trip, when we had that debate, I can see the exact road in my head. We were in my Tahoe at the time.
Yeah.
And we were driving to a really romantic hotel. Remember how funny this
by
is?
ourselves.
So everyone already knows I'm with Kristen Bell. So there's nobody that really would know me at this time and not know that I'm with Kristen.
Right.
Also, anyone that would see us and know us would probably knows we're both on Parenthood together.
Playing brother and sister.
And we're about midway home from driving back from Seth's wedding in Northern California. And I go, should we get a hotel? I know this hotel that has the most amazing grilled cheese. And you're like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And then I'm like, do you want to get 2 rooms or should we just get 1 room? And you're like, yeah, let's just get 1 room. We'll get 2 queen beds. We're both frugal.
Yeah.
So we basically check into this romantic, we're the only people there that are not on a honeymoon or like trying to repair their marriage.
And then come to find out, in order to get to our room, they have to walk us through the restaurant.
The outdoor restaurant. And many, many people are, I don't want to over exaggerate how popular we are, but suffice to say, many people recognized that it was
their
us.
heads.
And we're being led by one guy with 1 key to a room, and we both have overnight bags. And then we just fully check into a room together. And we just thought the whole rest of the trip, like, certainly there'll be a story that we're that we're each other's side pieces.
You were like, if I read that, there's no way that I would disbelieve it.
Yes.
It's true about any other 2 people.
Absolutely.
But we had our grilled cheeses.
Chandler and Monica check into a fucking, where were that? We were in like Carmel. We were by Carmel. If I read a story about Chandler and
Matthew Perry and Courtney Cox.
Matthew Perry and Courtney Cox checking into a really romantic hotel for the night.
And laughing about how everybody in the restaurant does somebody care enough to like try to leak it to the press?
Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun, right, if they did?
Oh,
It would have been
absolutely.
great.
Yeah.
Because Kristen, of course, would. Well, even before we had done that, this all happened not too long after we shot the pilot of Parenthood. And when we shot the pilot of Parenthood, we were up in Berkeley for about 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point, Kristen had gotten this gift card to go to this outrageous hotel, Calistoga Ranch in Napa Valley.
Right.
And then we drove up there to go for the weekend. And when we got there, they gave us the key and it was like 4 little houses. It was like a compound. That one little house was this amazing kitchen. One house was like a living room. And then there was 2 little houses that were bedrooms. And we were both immediately, as romantic as it was, we were like, we would feel guilty just having this to ourselves. Like other people need to enjoy this. So we called Erika and we're like, Buzz, do you want to come up to this outrageous resort with us?
Yeah. I showed up. We had some hot tub time. It was
Yeah,
great.
we got in the hot. So we had already really been kind of cohabitating in hotels together prior to the Carmel lovers retreat.
The stories we could tell. I love it. See, this is an example of the way you can take a bunch of facts and make a story and make it sound like whatever you want.
Yes.
And some of the facts are absolutely true.
And we fucked.
Well, that too. Well, several times during the course of all of this.
Only punctuated by grilled cheese.
By the grilled cheese and strawberry ice
What
cream.
kind of grilled cheese are we talking?
Holy shit. Well, first of all, it was cut in the most extravagant shape. Remember, it was like round on the outside, but then a diagonal. Crispiest bread you ever had. Real long, about this long. Just for everyone knows, I'm holding up my hands. About the size of a Subway foot-long sub.
I can't believe this must be before my obsession with food really started to sink in.
No, this was right smack dab in the middle of your obsession with eating lots of supplements.
Oh, no, that hasn't changed.
That doesn't change.
No, you open the pantry.
And I think I
it's
even
just
did ask you one time, I'm like, is this Scientology related? Because by the way, here's what I am guilty of. Anytime I observe you do anything that doesn't make sense to me, I go straight to, oh, this has got to be a sci-tie thing.
Definitely.
Are the supplements anything to do with that?
Nothing that's mandatory.
Okay.
There is, the purification program you must know
Yes,
about.
where you take a
It's
lot of niacin.
Yeah,
and-
exactly. You take a bunch of supplements. You take a lot of niacin, which is a particular B vitamins, B3. And then in order to keep your Bs in balance, you have to take a bunch of other B vitamins
Yes.
and a bunch of other stuff that just helps the detox process. And a lot of people just end up being like, I feel so good. Maybe I'll just continue doing some vitamins. And there are certain things that help also with the lucidity when you're working on things mentally.
Mm-hmm. What would be one of those? I think ginkgo blah blah. That's not how you say it, but I think everyone will know what I'm talking about. Do
Surely.
you get into ginkgo blah blah?
No.
Plinko plow plow. Mixed with a little ginseng.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm game, but the Scientology one is vitamin B1.
Oh, okay. You guys love your bees.
We do. It's all about the bees. By the way, alcohol burns up vitamin B1.
Oh, it does. It like binds to it or something.
Yeah, somehow. And so then you have to either replenish it or have nightmares.
Okay.
Or just take.
Ooh, is
B1
that
anyway.
a product of B1 deprivation? Is nightmares?
Yeah, I mean, like, have you ever done
Really?
like a painkiller? Or maybe, I don't know if you're
I've done
completely.
a couple hundred, yeah. at a
But
time.
yeah, when you do painkillers and then you have gnarly dreams. That's
yes.
B1.
Oh,
So
it's
just take
depleting
B1
your
with it.
Oh, thank God I can finally go back to my opioid addiction.
Yeah. It was the nightmares that was keeping you away.
Yeah, I was taking a lot of opioids when we first started knowing one another. There were
Yeah.
episodes of Punk'd where I was on 30 or 40 Vicodin.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm sure my liver was doing great at that time.
Yeah, but you're bounced right
I
back.
made
Hey.
Look at me, young and virile. When we signed on to do Parenthood, we had all agreed to do that show in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I had told myself at the time, oh, no big deal. That's a 40-minute flight from LA. I'll be able to fly up and then fly back down. I can deal with that. And on my very initial flight up there for the pilot, I had a full panic attack where I was like, oh my God, I can't live on a fucking airplane 4 times a week. I'm going to kill myself. I can't do this. And then luckily they moved the show to LA for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I want to say it was in your hotel room there, but maybe it was just I'm thinking of your trailer. But when I say you have a lot of supplements, I can't put too fine a point on this. I want to say that I have witnessed at least 60 bottles. You've had huge moving boxes, like when you've had to travel.
It's true. I think, okay, I said that hasn't waned at all. I would like to revise that. I think definitely it has.
Okay.
But as a whole, just throw away. Let's not go there because that would be like another boring hour of conversation. I have had health problems. And so I have seen, even at that time, like as a teenager, seen, naturopaths and stuff like that. And they've said like, yeah, this will help with this and this will help with that. Not to mention me just devouring nutrition books.
Right.
So there was just a lot
Yes.
going on with the vitamins.
I don't know how you found the time to eat all those, or if you were even hungry for real food after that. I'm going to guess that you could probably swallow a real handful of pills. Could you?
Not a problem.
Not even. You don't even need water,
No.
huh?
No. I mean, I need water.
Do you ever? Are you gangster enough that you just fucking chew them up in your mouth?
There were some that I would chew.
Oh wow!
That was a specific doctor who was like, "Hey, you know what? For the absorption,
Sure.
chew them up."
Yeah, you got to get it to absorb.
I did
How else
it.
will it have the effects? You were born in Seattle, but you grew up here in LA.
Right.
At what age did you guys move here?
We moved here when I was 4.
Okay. So Dane and Brando were
1.
They were 1.
Yeah.
Now Erica's brothers, and I'm sure you can find pictures of them online, and I implore you to do so.
Please do.
They are gorgeous specimen. They're what are they? 6'5"?
6'3".
Wow.
No.
All
they're
right,
taller.
give it 5. Hey.
Well, all right. Well, I'll compromise at 6'4".
Well, if you see any photos of me with them, they'll look 7 feet
and
tall.
you'll be in heels
Because-
probably
yes.
in those pictures. But these two, Monica, P.S., because they're your age. How old are they?
Oh,
They're 30.
Yeah.
they're my age.
Bullseye.
One of them is single.
Oh,
What are your thoughts on
Interesting.
Scientology?
I'm getting more on board during this conversation. I'll say that.
Well, they are fucking studs. They're phenoms. They're physically fit like you can't imagine. And then they're both weird as fuck. And I say that as the ultimate compliment. They both have like really specific interests, right? They're always like kind of pursuing something bizarre.
I love that. One of them is super into artistically
nunchucks.
speaking. Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, they're both they're into motorcycles.
Uh-huh. They have great style.
They and they definitely they like have a level of not giving a shit about any of this.
Yeah.
Like they respect people that work hard and have success, and one of them is a painter and a writer, and the other one is a photographer and an actor. Kind of both of them very artistic.
But that could flip. That could
yeah,
flip
but you
next
never know
month.
which one's which.
Yes.
No,
Are they twins?
they're identical.
Oh, wow.
There's two for the
That's
price
fun.
of one.
That's really fun.
Have you ever seen this? They must get this all the time. There's like a real estate show where these twin brothers sell real estate. Have you ever seen that show? What
Wait,
is it?
the Property Brothers.
Property Brothers.
I don't like this
Yeah, I
comparison,
bet not.
although I totally understand it.
Dane and Brando are very studly. They're more studly than those guys. But my God, it's almost the exact same thing, Monica. So if you've seen those guys, you're getting a feel for what's happening here.
No, but they're not attractive to me. That's the only. I think that's mainly that must be what my objection is. I'm like, yeah, but
Dane and Brando
that's
are
not
fucking
selling them.
babes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
I
not
agree.
selling them.
I agree. I just know that when I first clicked on it, like I was blowing through the stations, I
Yeah.
go, Jesus, Jonathan.
Dane and
Brando and
Brando.
Dane are selling fucking condos in Manhattan. How did this happen? It's pretty exciting.
They're very much more like. I feel like this is like the grandma way to describe it, but they're very rock and roll compared to the Property Brothers.
They are. Oh, these guys are very Silver Lake, very chic and cool and sexy. And you started young. You were in a McDonald's commercial, which just makes me so happy. This was before da 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 da. What was the campaign? Do you even remember?
It was.
Were you like getting chased by the Hamburglar or something? Or?
No, I wish.
Yeah.
It was just a sweepstakes thing. Like
For the Monopoly thing?
Yeah, I guess so. So you would peel
That's
off,
exciting.
and then we won a trip to Disneyland or something.
Yes.
Like that was the audition, and then that's what we did on the day of work was just like jump up and down like we won something.
Okay, so mom and dad won a trip by pulling on the supersized Coca-Cola, and then you went ape shit.
Yeah.
Did you think you did a good job?
I mean, I got the job.
Well, sometimes you get the job and then you don't execute
That's
all
true.
that well.
That's
You
true.
get to the set and you're like, oh, there's a lot of people around here. Yeah.
God, I remember. It's so cool remembering like just the first foray into this world.
How old were you?
12.
12. Okay. And your parents, any resistance to it or fully supportive from the get?
They didn't tell me. They kept it between themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But their agreement was to just give me a shot at it.
Mm-hmm.
And like let me go on auditions for a few weeks or whatever.
Right.
And so within 6 weeks, which was I think
Their
they're
trial.
like, let's give it, let's reevaluate in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I had booked 3 national commercials.
Well, let me just say though, if you're in Milwaukee right now and you're thinking, I'll go give acting 6 weeks.
I know,
Let me
I know
just
it's
say,
crazy,
yeah,
but
it's
it was a
nuts.
very, it was so clearly,
Yeah.
worth pursuing for me. And I had no doubt about it. Like I was like, this is I'm getting married to acting.
Uh-huh.
Sold. Rest of my life.
And
I
based on,
wouldn't-
did you love TV? Did you love musicals? Did you love?
No, now this is weird because it's a mental leap that I don't know exactly how I made, but I had been performing live with this amateur group of kids, singing and dancing all over LA at like the LA County Fair and old folks' homes and whatever.
Right. Funerals.
Yeah, surely.
Beheadings.
Singing. And really being electrified by that experience and by connecting with people from the stage and being like, whoa, when I sing to someone, they invariably will come up to me afterward and talk to me. And like, it's so exciting for both of us. And then there was a girl in school who was an actor, like actually was getting jobs, getting work as an actor.
You can say it, Kate Blanchett.
Yes. She's in my class. And so I knew that to be an actor, you had to have an agent and you had to actually be an actor. Like you had to go on auditions and get work and stuff like that and not just perform with your church group. Like, and so my parents, just started to very like gently dig around, like, so what's your interest in, you're taking singing lessons and dance lessons and going to rehearsals and all this stuff. So
plastic surgery.
All the bulimia. So is that leading somewhere?
So they were supportive because you were clearly good at it and you were going to.
And I was spending a bunch of time with all of these things that were somewhat related to the endeavor anyway. So I was like, yeah, I want to be an actor.
Right.
Like, I want an agent and I want to do it. I want to go on auditions and get work and be an actor.
You were in a fucking Mike Jackson commercial?
Oh, yes, music video.
I'm sorry, music video. Yes. I got so hung up on wanting to say Mike Jackson and I wanted to nail that I forgot the second.
You nailed the Mike Jackson.
Okay.
So
Mike Jackson, he decides he's going to do a music video. Unlike doing the many commercials he's done.
Right.
Yeah.
A beautiful ballad called Childhood, which is a really sad song.
Okay.
Where, he says, have you seen my childhood?
Ooh, yeah.
But it's a very whimsical music video where there are ships in the sky, like flying through the clouds. And they hired some kids to be in the ships, and so I'm like up in the clouds.
Did you love Mike Jackson back then? You must have, right?
Yeah. It was like, he's so beyond comprehension, though. It was like we were gonna get to meet him, and then he couldn't make it.
Who can blame him? He was out trying to find his childhood.
Yeah, he sent me an autographed photo. Which,
he did.
Yeah.
Do you still have it?
I have 2 storage units, so I hope I still have it.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Now I want to go to the first time I knew you as an actor, which is Traffic.
Right.
And one of it's in my top 10 movies of all time.
It's so good.
Fucking love that movie so much. And you in particular, like, stood out to me. So, you and Benicio del Toro, I was like, who are these people? We both love him.
Yes.
He flip you for real. Yeah. Which, by the way, if you follow Erika on Twitter, her bio is he flip you for real.
No, it's I'll flip you for real. But yes, but it is the quote. Yes.
Yes, from Benicio del Toro. So if you're deep diving on Erika, that's what that means. But yeah, you were so unbelievably phenomenal. I think we worked together for 3 years on Parenthood before I finally got the courage to say to you, when you smoke the heroin in that scene and you look up and your eyes are so dilated and that single tear falls out of those big blue eyes, how the fuck did you do that? How many takes did that take? How do you do that at 16 or 17? I think it's the most powerful image in the whole movie, which has a ton of powerful images in it. Do you remember your answer? You're like,
the acting gods. Yeah, I guess I do remember that. Because it's funny, you have certain things you get asked. And that's one of them.
Oh, it is?
Well, it certainly was at the time, being that much closer to it.
Wait, I'm not the only person who recognized how brilliant that moment was. I thought I was so unique. So people have asked you that in the past prior to me saying that to you.
Yeah. And it's funny. I remember meeting Don Cheadle for the first time because none of us worked together, right?
Right.
And he said, how did you get to be so good? And I was like, oh, thank you. And he was like, no. How did you get to be so
Give
good?
me the recipe,
and I was like,
bitch.
Oh, thanks. Wait, no, that's not what you're asking. Okay. I just took it as a compliment, which is really
cool. But you just said it just happened, right?
Yeah, essentially. I mean, honestly, the dilated pupils didn't just happen.
That was done.
That I called props and asked them if we could hook me up, and I went to an optometrist or whatever and got them.
Those were contacts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
that was driven by you, that decision? It wasn't that
You know what? That was in the course of all my research, since I had done and still have done, as you know, no drugs and had to actually
Till
approach
today.
it.
I got a bag of boomers
Guess
for
what?
you and Monica. You guys are going to have your first mushroom trip on Armchair Expert.
Oh my God. I one of the ways that I approached it was very scientifically. I wanted to know everything that was happening to your body during these experiences, and then extrapolate what that might feel like and all of that. And so learning the difference between like, oh, your pupils are pinned, or oh, they're super dilated. Like, oh, okay, cool. And in the course of all of that, I think I was talking to my mom about it, and she was like, well, you should get contacts. And I was like, you're absolutely right. Let me call props right now and see if they can do that. And then they did. And it was, and I've
See, that's cool. That's what being prepared and carrying results in. But and I was always confused because coke and meth always make your pupils gigantic,
Right.
but opioids usually make them pinholes.
Right.
So
I think it
I
was
confused
actually
by that.
we were freebasing crack in that scene.
Oh, okay. It was never as clear as I wanted it to be.
I totally
But I thought you were
understand.
smoking off a tray. But at any rate, I fucking loved it. You were so great in that. When you get trafficked, now this is a completely new chapter starts in your life, right?
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like my life started as me when I was 12, when I got on board with like, this is what I want to do. And then absolutely, that was a completely different chapter. I mean, Traffic
That's a
nominated
tidal
for
wave.
everything.
You won a SAG award. You won. You won like 9 different best new performer of the year. This person's going to be the greatest person of all time awards. Like there were a lot of those awards.
I wish. I love it.
Breakthrough Stars of 2001. You won
There you
from
go.
People
Oh,
magazine.
yeah.
So
I got the popcorn. I got the MTV Movie Award.
yeah, which is really
Which is
exciting,
awesome,
isn't it?
yeah.
So at that time you were 17.
Yeah, or I must have been 18
Okay.
at the time. Yeah.
And when that's all happening, what kind of thoughts do you start having? And I mean specifically, career-wise, do you think, okay, now I'm going to get to do blank? Does your imagination run away with you and what's coming next?
I'm sure it did, but what it felt like the most was like there's this big, I mean, it is pretty big, but there's this big group of people that make up, quote unquote Hollywood.
Uh-huh.
And like now I'm part of it. They let me in the door to
Right.
this party,
Uh-huh.
so, and I knew it too. Like from the beginning, when I got the job, people were asked, well, did you ever think in your wildest dreams that this movie would be this successful? And I was like, yes. Like,
Yes,
have you
yes.
seen this cast? Like,
Yeah.
yes, I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal, thank God, because it's a great movie and it's done a lot for, really interesting things, like families being able to broach the topic where they never were able to before and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Well, and it was a really comprehensive look at all 3 sides, from addiction to policy making to what's really happening in Mexico. It was very, very even-handed with what the quote war is
It
on
is,
drugs.
yeah.
And that was probably the first movie of that kind, I think, at the
Yeah,
time.
usually it's one-sided.
The DEA guy,
Yeah.
or the drug cartel boss, and this was, I don't want to nerd out, but just the idea that he decided to shoot it with 3 different film stocks so that it was 3 clearly different perspectives, and everything's blue when he's with you guys, and everything is yummy and red when he's with Benicio, and all that stuff
Yeah.
is so cool and sophisticated. So that happens. You win these awards. Do you develop any fantasy? Any like, I'm going to be a star. I'm going to live in a certain house. I'm going to have a boyfriend who is Justin Timberlake. Like, because you don't strike me as that type of person.
I did have all of that.
Oh, you did?
But from way before already.
Okay. Okay.
It was like I used to lay awake at night, to fall asleep. I would think about like, what's my life going to be like? What do I, and I would mostly just like to entertain myself, like just try to think of pretty things, like, think of a pretty house or think of, in the details of like, what is it like to live there? And what is it like to have that life? But then it just like all of that validation definitely seemed like, well, you're on the right path. You're going to get some of the things that you set out to just, selfishly just accumulate, as far as tangible things. But really it was like, you're allowed to play in this game now.
Yes.
And I,
what was the stress level? Recognizing, okay, I'm now in this club. The stress of picking correctly, did you feel that or did you not care?
I did feel that and I did care. What would have been a cooler approach was to really do what I try to do, now and since at some point past that time, but really try to find the things that resonate with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are the, even if I can't express why, just like I'm a fan of this script for whatever reason,
Right.
I think it's awesome for whatever reason. At that time, I was more concerned with just like striking while the iron was hot.
Yeah, making a great business decision. Probably.
Yeah, and just continuing to work,
Mhm.
which is which is something that most of us also still have as actors. You're like, but I need to continue to exist.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
because that feeling you had standing there receiving a popcorn,
yeah,
unfortunately, that is a very short-lived feeling. As great as it feels,
yeah.
Within 5 weeks, you're waking up, and if the phone hasn't rung, you're like, "Did that even happen?
Oh my God,
Everyone forgot.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I passed. I had it, and then I passed it on accident. Like it." Your mind just starts telling you you're on such a different time frame than the real world, right? Because your days are long in your head, but they're not in other people's.
Well, it's funny though. The value of having a goal anyway is not in achieving it; it's in having it, so you have a reason to wake up in the morning. And so that's kind of playing the long game. Is then what you start to realize and start to switch over to like, it's great. It's so unique and special and wonderful that I love my job.
Yeah.
And so, and that it affects people in positive ways and like all of the real reasons why you do it, you know, and then you, just refocus on that.
I don't think people realize how critical those decisions you make when you get the keys to the kingdom are, and you have no practice.
Yeah. There's almost nowhere to go but down. It's you're like standing on top of a mountain.
Yeah, you just gold medaled in something.
Yeah, and you definitely can continue to ride that wave and build on it. But it's so critical and so just like it's such an interesting position that you have to make it past that to then be just fine and have the significance of every individual decision matter less.
So your first big choice is Swimfan, right? That's the first leading role. Like you're going to be on the poster.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had done an independent movie right after that I was just thrilled that I could, and it totally resonated with me. And so that was cool. And then I guess the like first critical decision really that people would be aware of was Swimfan, and I was very unsure of it because it just didn't resonate with me. And they had offered me first Sherry Appleby's role, and I was like, I don't even know what to do with this, like. But
you're the seductress in Swimfan, is that accurate?
Right.
Yes, you could become obsessed with a girl's father. Is that what happened?
No, girl's high school boyfriend. We're all in high school.
Thank God.
You wish.
And the dad was named like the Dan Shepherd or something. Shepherd. He's kind of a goofy looking guy, but he does have a certain charm. He's like 6'9".
Wow, you did see it.
There is a movie like that from my childhood in the 80s where the girl does like the best friend's dad.
American Beauty. Yeah.
Oh, well, there's that one. That's not even the one I'm thinking. That's not even the one I'm thinking.
There's more than one.
Yeah,
surely.
there is more
I'm
than
sure there's many.
Surely.
Okay, so
no, this was Fatal Attraction.
Good old fashioned Fatal Attraction.
This is Fatal Attraction
among peers.
Yes, in high school. We are all whatever, 18, 17.
And were you comfortable playing like a sexy figure?
Yeah, it's funny because I kind of was like willing to take other people's word for it. I was like, whatever, like if that's what you see looking at me, then great, because that's all that matters, and
you were smoking hot at that. Well, you still are, but you were crazy hot. So
that's amazing.
That was the consensus.
My gauge of that would swing wildly. I was like, okay, fine. Yeah. But the wardrobe designer was fantastic and super collaborative and very just bolstering of my confidence. Like, yeah, you look amazing and this is how we're going to do it. And going for a kind of a retro femme fatale look. Everyone was awesome about it. And I was just ended up being like, I will take your word for it.
Yeah.
Which is still my philosophy as an actor.
Well, I got to say, because we worked together for 6 years and you're the easiest person on set. In the 100+ episodes that we did, I think my favorite moment acting in the whole series was you and I outside the restaurant.
I love that
I
scene.
do too. I love it so much. And it's all because of what you did that made it so amazing. The most genuine affection.
Well, unlike you, I'm not playing a character. I have the opposite approach.
That's not true. So I could see the switch flip when you became Crosby.
Yeah. All right. But in that moment, the line wasn't what ended up being, it wasn't written what ended up being in the scene. And I was looking at Erika Christensen, my little budge, and I said to you, it would be impossible not to love you, because that's how I feel about you.
I'm going to cry again.
I know. And you started crying, and then I started crying. And it was just
God.
truthfully how I felt about you, that it would not be possible to not love you.
Oh my God.
And that
that's
whatever
awesome.
Joel's going through is his own shit, because not loving you is really not an option for anyone. But that was the
That's
sweetest
amazing.
moment for me that I can think of, other than like acting with Belle a few times in Hit and Run, where it was like really personal stuff. But that was like
That's cool.
a very sweet moment out on the sidewalk in Westwood, LA. And I
it's-
remember me, you, and Larry just being like on a little cloud about how lovely it was just to get to say that to someone you really feel that way about.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And to have it be on that show where they do let us finesse things and or find those things that what is it that we're really trying to express here, and
Yes.
Larry completely being on board, like, well, that's amazing. Yeah,
Yes,
do it,
yes.
do that.
Larry
Yeah.
Larry Trilling would often come over after a take and he'd go, well, you can't do it perfect-er, so let's move on. And you'd be like, yes.
Or you say you can't do it perfecter, so one more for the joy of Chinema.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Yeah, he'd
I
say
gotta
for
call
the-
him.
Okay, the last thing I want to talk to you about, because it's one of your other very eccentric, neat things about you, is that just out of absolutely nowhere, you became the most dedicated cyclist on planet Earth.
Yeah, that was
And I mean bicyclist.
right.
There was a moment, and Monica was excited the other day. We were talking about this. She didn't realize that when you had a cast on the show, your character had a cast.
I'm a big fan of the show. We should
That's
say.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Who
Really
isn't?
I know,
mean,
it's
that's
so good.
Do most casts watch their own shows? Like, we would watch the show.
Well, remember, my trick was once I stopped reading the scripts, then I watched the show and I really liked it.
I remember that. I didn't do that until the last season.
Isn't it different?
It's really cool. It's so fun and exciting. And if there's something that you need to know as a character, someone will tell you.
I would be sometimes in this position, right? Because like I'm not reading the whole script because I want to enjoy the show. And I'm thinking, well, I only need to know my stuff. So I'm definitely rehearsing my scenes, but I will have missed that like someone gave some exposition, right? Like, so
Yeah.
let's say Adam and Christine would have a scene where it's like, your brother's still not talking to you from the blank fight. So I've not read that. And then I get there and we'll have a fight. And then I'll be talking to the guest director. And I don't want to admit to him I don't read the script. So I'd be like, yeah, this fight, boy, I'm really mad, huh? And he's like, yeah, you're really mad. I'm like, because man, that upset me. I'm like trying to get him to tell me why I'm mad.
Oh my God.
Without saying why am I mad, because I know I should have read it at some point.
Oh my God.
Oh,
That's
Jesus.
funny.
God, you know what would fucking drive you crazy about Mae Whitman when she came over the other day? You know what her I guess I can't say what her yeah, I can say what it says because you won't really be able to figure it out. Her license plate
Oh yeah.
on her car made Monica and I want to kill ourselves. Her fucking license plates say clear eyes, full hearts.
Come on.
Isn't that
perfect.
devastating?
Damn it.
Yeah, because that's what we really bonded on over at the wood
pilot,
pile.
yeah.
On the pilot, we started watching Friday Night Lights.
Week 1, week
And-
2, and the whole.
Ooh, we became so obsessed. And you had such a crush on Saracen.
Oh, I did.
Oh, yeah. I think we even
did.
tried to get a hold of him.
I did. But
I was willing to just say try, and I was leave it to
thank
you,
you.
whether you're going to say you did.
you. I have made certain choices in this conversation, but I totally got in touch with him. And I've seen him in recent years, and he's like married with children. And I told him like I'm engaged, and he was like, "That's so awesome." And he was telling me how great married life is and stuff. And I was like, "Oh, full circle. This
Look
is
at that.
good."
Yeah, but maybe just one weekend out in Santa Barbara wouldn't have hurt anyone. You know, maybe some mushrooms, a little light MDMA.
Hey, all of it. All of
Okay,
it.
but how did you get into this bicycling thing? Because it was really bizarre.
It's still so bizarre, but okay. The sequence was I was over at Ethan's house,
Mhm. Our mutual friend Ethan Saplee.
who had lost 200 pounds.
Yeah, I think at that point, literally 300. I think he was 5'10" in butterfly effect. And
Well,
he
he-
was 200
Yeah.
at his cycling
He
peak.
continued to lose weight after that, I think, because
Yeah.
we were so gnarly about it.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen him since like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, what is happening?
Yeah, he
here?"
was like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's happening? And he was like, I've started to ride bikes. And he took me to the garage and showed me all of his beautiful, expensive bicycles.
Yeah.
And
I'll have him on here someday because I think you and I will both agree he's the most fascinating person on
He's
planet Earth, right?
fucking wonderful.
Yeah, magic.
And he and his whole family, extended
perfect.
family, they're just the best people. He mentioned a couple guys that I knew from two completely separate social groups.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one would he have any connection to otherwise. And he was like, do you happen to know him? Do you happen to know him? We all ride together. We go Fridays, 6:45 a.m.
Yeah, I'm out right there.
I know, right?
6:45
I know. I was never a morning person except for work.
Yeah.
Like the only two reasons I would get up early are for work and then cycling.
Yeah.
And he said, here's the deal. This was a Sunday, right? He said, here's the deal. Go to the bike shop tomorrow, talk to Matt, get yourself a bike, and then show up at 6:45 a.m. on Friday. And I was like, done. And I went and I talked to Matt, and I was working.
Yeah.
So I had to come after work when I bought a bike, and then they had to fit me for it, and I had to buy my Lycra and everything. And they stayed open late Thursday night in order to get me all hooked up for the Friday morning ride.
Sure.
And that first morning ride, I was living right down the block from here.
Mm-hmm.
That way, actually.
Yeah.
And I rode to West Hollywood
Mm-hmm.
to meet up with everybody at 6:45. So I got up at like 5. I mean, I was like so excited and eat, and I didn't know how long it would take to get there. And then we rode 30 miles together, and then I rode back home, and I was, for the next 48 hours, could not eat enough food. Like my body was like, what is happening? Just famished, but obsessed.
Yeah.
And then rode essentially the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day.
You rode every single day. You rode to Parenthood. You rode home. Although
But that
one
wouldn't
time I
count.
think I drove you home once or twice.
Yeah, I bet
it
that's
got
true, too.
Really late or something. Again, more just rumor mill stuff for us to me dropping
All
you
this
out
time they
later.
spent together alone. Who was there to witness?
But
You can corroborate.
Your body changed so radically, so quickly. Like within 6 months of doing this, I used to call you a Robert Crumb drawing. You were just
Yeah.
like powerful ass and legs.
That's amazing. Yeah, I and it's funny too because it's one of those things that like, I have a feeling that people when they get plastic surgery or they're transitioning or whatever, like there's something so just feels so innately like this is actually who I am. I mean,
Right.
obviously transitioning, but I imagine with plastic surgery and stuff, like you see a different face or whatever, and you're like, yeah, but this is who I actually am.
Yes.
It felt like that. It was like, but this is who I actually am, who I've been
Right.
under all those extra curves
previously.
and so
It was, it was jaw dropping. Like it was a really radical transformation. Not that you didn't have a great body beforehand, but you just all of a sudden look like you could kick through a fucking steel door. I think I spent 90% of our conversations just talking about your calves and stuff. Wouldn't you say? I couldn't get enough of it.
I mean, and they're crazy still, and I haven't ridden a bike in God knows how long.
But that's
now.
where you kind of met Cole through this bike riding thing. And your husband
100%.
Cole rides, I guess, as close as you can ride to being a professional and not do it for a living. Right?
Sure. Well, and not even race to have a gauge against how fast you really are. But he definitely was deeper into it than I was.
Yes.
And
For many, many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For way longer than I have been. If I could, it's embarrassing to even like try to claim it now because it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And
is it something you want to go back to?
It is. I definitely.
But it was an addiction, right? Like you recognize it as.
Oh, yeah.
like, I don't know if I would have time for that addiction, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because Ethan too fell out of it, and then we'll go back and forth. But it's like a whole thing.
It's a
like,
whole thing. It's really hard to
You
like
can't casually
go
do it.
half-assed. Yeah,
Right.
because also you have a memory of the level of skill and athleticism that you once had.
Yes.
So to try and engage on a lower level is just not fun.
Yeah.
It's just
Frustrating.
demeaning. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the last ride that I went on was 4 months ago.
Uh-huh.
And then before that, it had been at least that long.
Okay.
And I was really glad that I didn't just die on the ride that I went on a few months ago, because I was already a couple months pregnant, and I was like, I haven't ridden my bike in forever. But my buddies that I went with were like, don't worry, we're gonna take it easy. It's gonna be fine. I did 50 miles, and it was okay. You know, I was like, all right,
a nice little light jog.
Yeah.
Nice
Easy,
little
take it easy.
Even 50.
yeah.
Now, when you crashed, what happened? You were in. I've been dying to ask you this question for 3 years, and I always forget to ask you when I see you. But you crashed somewhere in Malibu, right?
Actually, it was on Mandeville Canyon, which is kind of notorious for being dangerous.
By sunset. Yeah, off
Yeah.
the sunset.
What is that?
Mandeville
Brentwood?
Canyon. Yeah.
Maybe?
In between Brentwood and Palisades.
Yeah. So over there, we were coming down that hill.
Right.
And-
very steep hill.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, at the end it is. It was not even, you can get a lot of speed going.
Right.
And so there was a little clump of us, a little cluster of us coming down this hill, and this car in front of us, I guess, slammed on their brakes or was just going slower or something.
Uh-huh.
And so fully operator error on my part.
In motocross, we say you ran out of talent.
There you go. I fully just ran out of talent. If I had, I like that, because it's not the weather conditions, it's not the road conditions. The bike is perfectly fine. But if I had just been able to keep my cool a half a second longer and not grab a fistful of brakes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure you can relate. It was just too much, and
front end washed out.
no, back wheel locked up and was all of a sudden here.
Okay,
I was
sideways.
like, okay. Yeah, it's right there. So then I think I high-sided and bounced and then rolled. So like it went out from under me, and then when I went over, landed on my right wrist.
Oof.
That's what broke. And then I tumbled down the hill, and I was like, I'm fine. And everybody's like, no, I don't think so. I don't think you are.
Yeah. You're. I've been in many crashes, and I've always leapt up. I'm fine. And I've many times been in an emergency room an hour later.
God.
But here's the thing I've been dying to ask you. So I knew that part of the story.
Yeah.
But then someone told me
Oh God, what?
that months after that crash, I can't remember what friend's like, hey man, I think I saw your sister on TV, like on Mandeville Canyon with a few other people just kind of milling around on the street. And I was like, did you go back to the crash site?
Yeah.
So this is real.
This is true.
Oh
I
my-
love that.
Oh
somebody saw
my
it.
goodness.
It's true.
And then here's where I took it in my fantasy.
Yeah.
And tell me how inaccurate I am.
I love it.
I'm familiar with this concept from Dianetics called engrams, right? And I'll tell you my layperson's understanding of engrams,
Okay.
which is, am I even saying that part right?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Engram.
Engrams. So the example I believe in the book is a woman's in a house. An intruder comes in. She gets raped. She was in the middle of doing dishes. This is this traumatic, terrible experience. And then for the rest of her life, without her really having any awareness of it, when she sees drapes flapping in the wind, that triggers her and raises her anxiety. When she hears running water, that triggers her anxiety. When she sees just an open door that no one shut, that triggers her anxiety. So that she has linked all these things in her environment to this trauma that happened to her, and that those things are almost now permanently in her as traumatic, even though obviously drapes blowing is not traumatic, and vice versa. And that the goal is to deconstruct an engram and to disattach all these things you've put onto this trauma. Is that inaccurate?
That's pretty accurate. Yeah, because everything that occurred at that time, everything that you perceived
took
at that
in.
time, yes, were part of that and are
Embedded
completely illogically associated with that.
Yes.
And then the only thing you have to do is examine all of it closely enough that it no longer has any power, and then you're fine to leave the drapes blowing in the wind.
Right. So is that what happened? Did you go back to that site to unplug certain things you may have accidentally connected with the experience?
Basically, no, but it is a Scientology thing.
Oh,
But it
okay,
is so.
okay.
So here's the
Okay,
satisfaction.
okay.
So the way that you would address the the mental aspect of it and those associations is just sitting in a room with someone else who is trained in Dianetics, and they take you back and you re-experience it and
fill out as many details as you can.
Yeah, and then once it all is completely clear to you, it's like if you were hypnotized and told every time I say apple, you have to scratch your neck. But as soon as someone tells you, no, you were just hypnotized to scratch your neck every time I say apple, then you're like, oh, fine. You don't have to anymore.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yes.
You're aware of it, has no power anymore. But the physical aspect of it is that the body can kind of go through a similar process of retaining that trauma. And then so in re-experiencing that gently, not to re-injure yourself, you can kind of erase that and let it heal better.
Oh, really? So you, in like, as we'd say in acting, you did like a half-speed rehearsal on the crash?
Yeah.
You did?
I did, which was not easy because first of all, I had to figure out what the hell had happened.
Yeah.
And then I had to figure out how to do it again, which is like super awkward. Like, okay, so I felt this way, and then I felt over the bike, climb over the bike, and then like this way, but do it enough times that all of a sudden there's some relief there, just some sense of relief. And like,
did you experience that?
Yeah. And I was just like,
did.
yeah, it took a while.
So you did this more than one time?
Oh, no, it was all at like over the course of maybe an hour or whatever.
Okay. So, but you did kind of reenact the accident more than one time.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the folks that are there, what are they there to do?
To make sure I don't get hit by a car in the meantime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're kind of on your own as far as reenacting the trauma and everything?
Yeah. I mean, you could have somebody, if you want to, you could have somebody tell you,
Like,
okay,
hold
like
your
start from the
bike
beginning or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But you basically would go through it. I mean, it's much more, it's interesting because it's such a complicated injury. To normally, like if you stubbed your toe or whatever, you're like, oh, that's I could
A plus B equals C.
Yeah, I could just stub my toe more gently several times. It'll hurt worse at first, and then it'll go away. And you're like, fine, and it takes 10 seconds, and it's over, and you don't need anybody's help or whatever. But being that it was such a complicated situation, I had like my mom out there asking people not to hit me in the meantime. Like, can you just wait a second? Okay, can you
So my friend might have actually been in a traffic jam you created.
Yeah, probably. The neighborhood was not psyched.
Yeah, clearly this person couldn't have like driven by you at 40 and noticed it was you and all this. So.
No, they probably saw me right up close, real slow, and me like acting out a bicycle accident.
And are you self-conscious while this is happening, or you don't give a flying fuck?
I mean, somewhere in the middle. Like part of me is totally aware that it looks bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. People don't know what I'm doing, but it's totally worth doing, so I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I have psoriatic arthritis, super sexy disease. I've tried every single thing under the sun. I mean, everything. I've been frozen. I've had stem cells put in my wrists. I've had PRP. I've had, you know, every kind of Western medicine, therapy. And then Kristen was like, you're going to do an Ayurvedic cleanse for a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't believe in that. But I'll go in 1 second.
Results oriented.
Why wouldn't I fucking try every conceivable solution to this thing? And I was on a table getting an enema, and I was like, well, how did I end up here? What is going on? There's a stranger pumping my ass full of coffee.
Oh my God.
But fuck it. I did it. I don't care. It didn't shatter my identity to have some coffee enemas.
Hey.
Look. I'll try anything.
Results oriented. I like it.
So is there anything, do you know what you're doing next? You're just having a baby next. That's what you're focused on?
I'm having a baby next. I got to do a movie that's going to come out at some point called Clover.
Oh.
Which
not Cloverfield.
No.
Clover. Okay.
Zero relation.
I hope people are confused though, because that's a huge movie, Cloverfield.
I'm in this movie, Clover, blank. It's like it's a mafia comedy. It's like Goodfellas is a comedy, right?
Yeah. One of my favorite.
Yeah. So it's a comedy in that vein where it's very violent, but it's a comedy.
Great.
And very dark, but it's a comedy. And
are you doing any TV?
I don't know. I'm not
appealing,
right now.
Right? With kids, isn't it so appealing because you're at home and
well. If I had the opportunity to do Parenthood, 6 years of Parenthood right now, then I would do that.
I'd do 100 years of Parenthood. Right
yeah. But
I'd want to get paid a little more, but still.
That really didn't happen for us. But yeah, it's so interesting, that phenomenon you were talking about with pleasing the director and the producers and the writer and all the higher ups, and that whole phenomenon is the worst in network television. There's so many cooks in the kitchen, and for Parenthood, we didn't even have that.
No,
but it's a real tough game. And when they get it right, they get it right, and when they don't, they don't. And so I've been trying to play that game, and it just hasn't been working out for me. And I've just been like,
yeah. Well, one thing that's unique about film, which is so great, is you go away, you're in camp for 3 months. No one knows if it's good or bad because it's not going to be edited for another 6 months, right? So we were all just working under the assumption that you're making Citizen Kane, and that's really liberating and fun. But when you're on the show, man, that thing starts coming out and you start realizing I'm in a stinker or I'm in something great. But you get the proof, and now people start panicking around you. And now the whole environment, right, becomes scared and trying to save something as opposed to create something that's all scary.
Yeah, and are you going to get canceled, which never happens with a movie. And also, ratings is so specific, such a weird factor in everybody's lives. And we never had great ratings anyway. So it was like, well, they're not going to take you off the air. And that was always, we're like, but we get to keep making our show. Okay, good.
Yeah. Well, I love you. Well, tell people how to follow you on Instagram and Twitter. What are your handles?
I love you. And my Instagram is Erika Christensen.
Okay. Well, by the way, I can't spell that.
Yeah.
It's S-E-N, not sun. I would think sun.
It still is sun, the meaning, but it's Danish.
Those fucking Danes.
Hey, what are you going to do?
They do not want an O at the end of their name.
No. And it's also not Christensen. It's Christensen. Yeah.
Good luck spelling that, guys.
Hey, Google will figure it out.
Yeah, Google her. Just Google Swimfan and buckle up, guys.
And Erika's with a K, so there's that too. Yeah. Hey,
just in case the last name didn't fuck you up the first name. Well, I adore you. Thank you for helping me assemble the whole Parenthood. We're slowly chipping our way through the most loving cast on, to my knowledge.
You know what? I realized at a certain point that I was taking us for granted. I was just like, everybody's brilliant at their job, so there's no basis of comparison. Everybody's brilliant on this show. Even the kids.
An embarrassment of riches.
It was just like, and everybody's great to each other. Like, oh, it's not always like this, but hey, but it is right now, and it was glorious.
I've made a lot of mistakes. That's one of the few I didn't make. I was like, this is heaven. This is heaven on earth. 4 days a week. Say what you want. 8 hours.
Ugh.
You love everyone. Yeah. Fucking get real. When does that happen?
If we could just get
Let's
paid.
do it again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's that.
All right. Love you for real this time.
Love you.
All right.
Goodbye.
Stay tuned if you'd like to hear my good friend and producer Monica Padman point out the many errors in the podcast you just heard. Monica, walk us through the errors.
Okay, I will. Erika was a little hazy on when Swimfan came out.
Mm-hmm.
Came out in August of 2002. I was only a baby.
You were a 4-year-old baby?
Yeah, just a tiny 4-year-old spit up. You said that when Punk'd came out, they were pretty far into that 70s show seasons wise, because then you were invited and then you had fun there and you met all those people.
Right.
And Punk'd came out in 2003, which was season 6 of that 70s show. So you were right.
Good. They were a well-oiled machine by the time I started. Although we started hanging out when we shot the pilot, and then the pilot was delayed for a year because of a lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. So maybe I started going there around season 4 or 5. But regardless, they were in their stride, and they had nice cars. They had renegotiated.
And they knew how to party. She said that she thought they shot Traffic between seasons 1 and 2 of that 70s show. And Traffic came out in 2000, which was season 2.
Okay.
So yes, they must have shot between those 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
So she was right. She had a good memory.
Yeah, she really is. She is crystal clear. She kept talking about wanting to maintain her clarity, and she is very crystal clear.
Yeah, it was funny. I do not.
You're not naturally drawn to Scientology. Is that what you're going to
Yes,
say?
I'm not drawn to Scientology. I'm not going to become a Scientologist.
Right.
But there are many things that she said that I was like, I really get it.
Yeah.
What she's saying, and I understand. I understand some of the draws, especially when she was talking about clearing words.
Right.
I was like, that's great. We should all probably be clearing words.
Absolutely. And so what you were having is the experience I've been having now for about 12 years, which is I have a lot of personal friends who are Scientologists. So that
Right.
was probably the first person you were around talking about Scientology.
Openly, yeah.
And looking at the human being and going, well, I mean, yeah, maybe there were slaves or whatever. I don't know. But this person I'm looking at is very clear, is very bright, and is
Yeah.
very happy. So you got to put that into the stew.
Yeah, it's got to go into the stew with all the other elements
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Yeah, agree.
Which I think I was honest about, right? I told her I read Going Clear and all that.
Yeah.
I read the critical stuff and the positive stuff.
Yeah. I know. It's a weird dilemma, right? Because let's say you are a part of an organization that's doing wonderful things for you. Of
Yeah.
course, you're going to keep doing that and you're going to defend it, and you're probably not going to look too hard at some of the.
Why? Why would you?
Why would you?
Yeah,
Exactly.
if you're happy and feeling self-actualized, this thing's working. I tried to parallel it with AA, and
Yeah.
I totally sympathize with people who think it's a cult,
Yeah.
and maybe they've had loved ones who got weird after they joined it.
Yeah.
My point kind of was I don't mind acknowledging that. I also don't mind reading criticism of it.
Right.
You know.
I guess though it's a little different with AA maybe because some of the critique of Scientology is really like they are doing
criminal
stuff.
But
Exactly.
I guarantee you in the history of AA since 1930 that there have been sponsors who have molested sponsees. I bet there are people who
But
have
that's-
really abused
you're right. Yep.
their heightened position in the
Yeah.
program.
That seems more individual
And not
as opposed to
institutionalized.
institutional.
Yeah.
So I guess it is a dilemma, like how if something's working for you, but potentially is causing harm
To other people.
to other people, how much? I don't know the answer to that. I really don't, but
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Here's
I
the
guess.
great thing. We all get to do our own thing. You get to pick whatever thing you're going to be interested in.
Yeah.
And it's your prerogative. And it's great because you're free to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I like that.
you are, but
I don't think we should outlaw anything. Do you? I mean, yeah, I shouldn't outlaw the evangelical religion or Islam or
everything becomes so fine lined, right? Because no, we should not and cannot outlaw any religions, and we shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to use this example because it's like it's such an extreme. I don't even want to use it, but I can't think of a less extreme one. The Nazi Party. What if there are people who were getting tons of fulfillment out of that, not engaging in any of the killing?
right? Or anti-Semitism?
How it's still that has to stop.
Yeah, that's as you owned. That's a pretty extreme example.
It's extreme, but there's some extreme stuff being said about Scientology.
Yeah, but to go back to our favorite documentary, Wild Wild Country, what I did, there was a moment for me that was a good warning sign for myself was at the very end of the documentary, there is a guy in Antelope basically bragging that he was never outsmarted by the Rajneeshis and that they were following a false prophet. And the whole thing was exposed to have nefarious goals with poisoning the people in the Dalles, blah, blah, blah. He felt very victorious and he felt very validated. But then I just looked at that guy. I looked at that guy in his life and how much joy was in it and what his maybe health level was versus these people who had been duped, who are dancing and fucking and are thin and are eating well and are living this great, beautiful life.
Yeah.
The result of which you can get really hung up in what the process by which it bears these results. You can start tearing apart this and finding holes. And you could maybe miss the bigger picture of like, well, if I got to pick one life I'm living at 65 years old, I'm going to pick that lawyer in the documentary, not the guy who was right. Because I often think, ooh, I'm right. I intellectually, I prove my point. But then the results of me being right might be a shitty life. That's
Yes.
worth considering.
Yeah, it's worth considering. I mean, that translates to Christianity too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which you are not.
I'm pretty critical of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, but to be specific about what I'm critical about is that I am critical of patriarchal hierarchies.
But you're also
Which-
critical of in the belief in what you presume to be totally unbelievable things, preposterous ideas.
Well, I think that one of the things that bothers me is I think it's laziness and a total lack of belief in our own powers and competence to think that a book that was written by people 5,000 years ago who thought the earth was flat was that we should continue for all of mankind to follow what they knew, that there's no progression, that there's no more understanding, that you're locked into this text. You're
Right.
living your life based on a text that was written with very limited knowledge of how the physical world works.
Yeah.
That's troubling to me. I'm concerned about that. I also get a little nervous when people I cherish our Constitution, but I do not revere it as the most perfect thing that's ever been written, and that it should never evolve to acknowledge new information.
Mm-hmm.
I think reverie for a text is a little dangerous.
Right, but it's all reverie for a text, reverie for a person. It's all that.
Yeah.
It's all just picking a token to worship.
Mm-hmm.
And if, in keeping with this conversation, if most people their lives are better because they adhere to the Bible and they trust it and they believe every word in it.
Ryan and Amy, I'll say all that stuff I just said, and then I look at Ryan and Amy, who I think are two of the most perfect people I've ever met in my life. They're living the best, most wholesome, wonderful life. They're the best parents. They're fun. They're everything. And it is 100% grounded in them being Christians. That is really the driving force for that. So I acknowledge that. Who's laughing last that I said, oh, well, your book thinks the world was flat. And then Ryan's like, yeah, great. I'm an awesome dad and I'm a great dude. And you're, So I acknowledge that.
Well, it also isn't, it doesn't mean you can't be those things without it either.
Correct.
But it just, for them it happens
resulted,
to be, yes.
Yeah, really great result. And then there's people who's, they're getting their babies bit by a rattlesnake because that's how you cure them according to their text. So that's the bad version.
Right. Okay. So you talked about Wilmer Valderrama.
Great job pronouncing his name.
Thank you.
Yep.
And what a light he is. And then you also talked about his dancing with his sister. And you could not recall the name of the dance. I think Eric and I both suggested salsa. And I don't know what he did because I wasn't there.
But he's from Venezuela, right?
Yes.
Venezuela.
He's from Venezuela. And I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong.
Okay.
Joropo? Joropo?
Geraldo Rivero?
Is the national dance of Venezuela. And it originated in Spain. And it consists of 36 steps. And it's a dance for couples.
Oh.
So it might have been what he was doing.
It's fucking beautiful, whatever it was. You can call it by any name. What is it? What's the Shakespearean thing? A something by any name is still a something.
Yeah, I can't
By
think of
any
that.
other name.
A rose.
A rose by any other name still smells as sweet? Oh, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Fact.
Okay. I
don't know if it's called the poop flower and you were introduced to the rose as the poop flower, your brain actually might boggle the scent. You might file it in the wrong cabinet.
It might, but it shouldn't. Because it does not. It smells the same.
Objectively, it smells the same.
Okay, so you said one of the 5 pillars of Islam is donations.
Yeah, making alms, is that what it's called? Or?
Charity. Charity is probably the one you're referring to. Faith, prayer, charity, fasting, and pilgrimage.
To Mecca.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've done twice.
But according to the Quran, I guess, the charity portion has to be distributed in the community from which it was taken. So that's
interesting.
They take it and then they give it.
Well,
It's not donation, it's charity.
right. But what's interesting about that? So it's supposed to go to the community from which it was taken or mined. Because I'm reading this book called Shadow Something, or I'm listening to it on Audible. That is about the CIA's operation in Afghanistan to fight back from the Soviet invasion. And we were funding a ton of the mujahideens that were fighting, but also Saudi Arabia was funding a ton of that. And the reason it was so easy, or at least says this book, it was so easy to get money from Saudi Arabia is that it is a pillar of Islam. So they are very charitable. And so they were very quick to donate lots and lots of money to the Afghans to help fight off the Soviet Union. It's, very institutionalized in their culture.
Yeah, it's part of it, charity.
But it was leaving. That's the only thing I guess I was pointing out. That the money was leaving Saudi Arabia.
But that might be additional. It might just be like, we'll do whatever to foster these ideas, I guess. But of the pillars.
The 5 pillars.
Donations is not one. Charity.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But it's not the same. Donations to the church is different than charity to the community.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yes, because tithing is you give 10% of your income to the church.
Yep.
Yes, I got you.
To help the church.
Well, no, but then the church distributes that. They have all sorts of programs for kids and feeding people, and they Yeah. I don't think the assumption is the church. Well, although the Catholic Church seems to have kept a lot of it, because if you've ever been at the Vatican.
Yeah.
But I do think the premise is they're going to redistribute it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think so?
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Well, she talked about clearing words, as I mentioned earlier, and she said most words are Latin, which is pretty clear. But 80% of the entries in any English dictionary are borrowed mainly from Latin. Over 60% of all English words have Greek or Latin roots. In the vocabulary of the sciences and technology, the figure rises to over 90%.
Those crazy, the genus and species names are always so Latin-y.
They are. They're hard to remember.
They sure are. Almost sapien.
Yeah, you like that one. Yeah. How many levels does Scientology have? 15 levels.
Oh.
But the church only offers 8.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Where do you get the other 7?
Maybe you
So
can't.
what I did is I took 15. I subtracted 8.
Okay. Okay. So she said going clear isn't available in all countries because they have stricter libel laws. Under English and Welsh law, the burden of proof in defamation cases rests exclusively on the defendant, which means that if someone sues you, it's up to you to prove it's true.
Ah. So does that mean that book's not available in England?
Correct.
Oh, it really isn't? Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
I mean, cool in that she was right.
Oh, yeah, she was right. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I meant to ask you this before. I wish you could tell us the name of the romantic hotel with the great grilled cheese, because I'm sure people will want to go there. And I want to go there.
Yeah. It's the Carmel Valley Ranch. What a great grilled cheese.
I want that right now.
Yeah. I'll take you on a lover's retreat there, and we'll walk. It'll be very similar to Erika and I's experience, because people will be like, oh, God, they do a podcast together, and now they're checking into one room.
A lot of things will flow through their brain. It'll be worth it for the grilled cheese, because I want that.
Yeah, 100%. Even if I get divorced, it's totally worth it. The grilled cheese is that good.
How many cheeses in that grilled cheese?
I don't think it's a bunch of different cheeses that makes it so good. It is the bread.
Tomato?
The bread, the way the bread is the quality of the bread and the way they cook it to perfection. And I've had a dozen there, and they've all been cooked to absolute perfection. I hope they give me like a free stay there and a free grilled cheese out of talking about this.
Do you think they'll Postmates?
From Carmel?
Yeah.
I bet it won't be that crispy by the time
Oh my God, I wish
us.
Postmates sponsored us.
It's 5 hours and 12 minutes away by car right now.
Okay, so if we order it now, we'll have it by dinner.
We could be eating there at 7:40 tonight. That's barring any traffic.
I really want that. I've been thinking about it ever since you said it.
I'll make that dream come true.
Okay.
I'm going to pledge that.
Okay.
I can do it.
You refer to going to Seth's wedding a lot in this, and that's Seth Green. correct?
Yes, not Seth MacFarlane
Could
or
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Seth
Myers. Seth,
Who else?
Homo Sethian.
There are a lot of Seths it could have been.
Really, truthfully.
Could have been Seth Avett. Actually, I think originally when you were telling the story, I thought it was Seth's because you went to Seth Avett's wedding.
I did in North Carolina with Lincoln.
So I thought maybe she also knew Seth Avett, but it's Seth Green.
Yeah, lovely Seth Green. Seth Green.
Who we've had on this podcast before and is a delight.
I think he's, if I had to rank favorite episodes, he is definitely in the top 3 from the feedback I've gotten.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You pronounced it Ginkgo Balboa.
Great.
Ginkgo biloba.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
just so you know. Can
enough.
you say it?
That's enough of you.
Try to say it,
What
okay?
is it? Ginkgo biloba.
Yeah, you said it.
I did?
Yeah.
I don't like that version of it.
You like Balboa?
Absolutely. Rocky Balboa, Balboa Island. There's a lot of great Balboas.
Ginkgo biloba.
Ginkgo
Can you
Balboa
say Vietnam?
Vietnam.
You did it.
That's not what
Vietnamese.
I can't. Yes, Vietnamese.
Oh, yeah.
That's
there
what I can't say. Yeah. I hope no one.
You're
I just
cute.
really pray that no one takes that as like me having a lower opinion or a superior opinion.
How could anyone think that? It's just
because they go like you can't take the time to learn how to say the damn name, right? And that's a good complaint. But I have limitations as a dyslexic.
we all have limitations.
You're right.
But we isolated for you what's happening, right? You're mixing the M and the N,
which again is a fallout of the dyslexia.
I do too, but maybe the
Vietnamese.
Yes.
Great.
Okay.
Is everyone happy?
Things really took a turn.
I got defensive.
Yeah. She mentions that vitamin B1.
Right.
Alcohol depletes vitamin B1 and that you get nightmares. This is what she said. So I did read that.
Okay.
However, I will be really honest. I didn't read it in any article that I trusted.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I looked a lot and there were a handful of articles about that.
Right.
But I didn't recognize the validity of any of those.
They didn't seem
articles.
like quality sources to you.
Correct. So I could not really, I can't corroborate that statement. But,
or dispel it.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I did find that I do trust thiamine, which is vitamin B1.
Okay.
Helps decrease the risk and symptoms of a specific brain disorder called Wernicke-Korsakoff. I'm definitely saying that wrong. WKS.
Okay.
That's what it is. And yeah, it's related to low levels of thiamine.
And what are the symptoms of that? Do I have it?
I don't know, but it is often seen in alcoholics. Bad dreams I could not find.
Okay. I wonder if I have it from being an alcoholic.
Between 30% and 80% of alcoholics are believed to have a thiamine deficiency.
Well, to me, that's pretty conclusive evidence. I know you couldn't find anything.
No, not the nightmares.
Oh, the nightmares. Okay. But by the way, I totally believed her because when I did a bunch of opiates, I would have the craziest fucking dreams. They're so weird and they'd be violent. And as I'm trying to fall asleep, I'm just having images in my head that I've never had.
Yeah, so but that could also just be the drug, right?
Well, but the drug would do something. It would alter my chemistry in a way that would create that. So there's some chemical is being depleted or blocked or inhibited from uploading or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
We just don't know what it is.
Or she does.
Or she does. I did some. That's my job here, right?
I know you do a great job.
So
good job.
Thanks.
Good job.
We talked about Erika's brothers, and I asked if they were twins, and I'm embarrassed that I asked that.
Why?
Because we had already established that they were 30.
So they were both 30?
Well, it was like, how old are they? 30.
Oh, right.
So obviously they're twins. I just didn't put two and two together.
Although I imagine it's conceivable that one brother could be born on January 1st and then a second baby could come along by December 31st.
It would be so hard to do because generally speaking, well, I guess you're right. It depends because generally speaking, you can't get pregnant if you're breastfeeding.
Right. I don't know that that's true. Let's have a
I think it's
follow-up.
true.
Okay.
But you might not breastfeed.
That's right.
So it could happen.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. But really, I should have just known they were twins. We talk about Matt Saracen, and that is Matt Saracen is a character on Friday Night Lights, played by Zach Gilford.
Yeah. Total babe, great actor.
Yeah, he was my favorite.
He was. More than Riggins.
Way more.
God, I like you. You have a really specific, you know what you like.
Yeah. Riggins was way too, he did not have his shit together.
Oh, okay. He scared you.
No, he didn't scare me. I would be so annoyed if I was in a relationship with him.
Right. Because he just couldn't figure out how to do the right thing.
Mm-mm. Yeah. I just,
You think his face and hair couldn't get you through that?
it doesn't matter. We talk about this so often.
I
Those
know.
things just, personality trumps it so much. And Saracen was taking care of his grandmother.
Yeah,
I mean,
very
he was
nice person.
so nice and
Yeah.
very kind to his girlfriend, the Taylor child. What was her name?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Forget her name.
Coach T's daughter.
Yeah, Tammy and Coach's daughter.
Yeah.
Forget her name. Anyway, he is a superior love.
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look at Riggins and I go, well, he's the rebel. I'm always attracted to the rebel. I'm like, this
know.
guy's taking the rules and he flushed them right down the toilet. Let's watch him go.
But he's not. He didn't flush it. He's like, drunk on the couch.
Yeah, man.
Missing class.
Yeah.
Like nothing about that
Yeah.
is appealing. And I know that people are really attracted to the rebel. Like they are. That's
Rebel
but-
without a cause.
but in life, are they? Like maybe
Oh,
at
for
first.
sure. Yes,
At first.
Yes.
But then once you have to start dealing with the real life shit that comes along with it,
Yes.
that's not fun or interesting.
I agree. It's not sustainable. What
It's
you
not
want is
sustainable.
the rebel, the reformed rebel.
Sure. That's right.
But look, I was a rebel who was also graduated college, magna cum laude. Like you would have been living with me. Sure, I'd be drunk on the couch and I'd miss a few days, but I was also crushing. It's not like
Yeah.
I wasn't.
That's different.
Okay.
He wasn't.
He wasn't, right?
Yeah.
But you could be a rebel who's also accumulating some accomplishments.
I wonder if I knew you back then, what I would have thought.
Me too.
It's just a,
Well, look,
it
I
might
think-
have been
I
a
think
little chaotic.
We
for
can
me.
reverse engineer it a little bit. It'd be like, I think a good test of that would be if the people who liked me back then, now I have no relationship with because I'm a different person. So the fact that Nate has been my best friend through the
Yeah.
whole thing and Aaron and Scotty,
Yes.
right? I think that says a little bit.
Yeah.
And the thing you would have hated about me, I think wouldn't have been so drinking related as much as I would get drunk and then my ego would need validation nonstop, and I would steer conversations in directions that you would end up having to give me a compliment, and it was just disgusting. That part of me,
Yeah.
I think, is the most dreadful. That I'm sure Nate witnessed a lot and somehow got through, and Scotty and all these people.
Yeah.
And
I think I could have lived with that.
you think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more the chaos that
Yeah.
makes me a little, I would be, I guess you're right. I would be afraid of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you called Erika, you likened her to a Robert Crumb drawing.
I say that with peace and love and peace and love. That's a compliment from my aesthetic, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was a cartoonist.
An amazing documentary. Did I say it in the
You
thing?
didn't, but you can now.
Yeah, David Lynch produced a documentary called Crumb.
Called Crumb, 1994.
That's just awesome. It's in my top 5 documentaries of all time.
Yeah.
And
He was a troubled person.
He was a very interesting human being. He has 2 brothers that are super fascinating. They're all
Yeah.
equally weird. There's an example. They all had this really weird recipe that was super destructive in 2 out of the 3 of them. And he somehow kept it on the rails enough to be the most brilliant cartoonist of
Successful.
all time.
Yeah. But I encourage people to look up what that means, or maybe I'll post it.
He was
a Robert
obsessed with
Crumb.
the Amazonian, like the conventional Amazonian woman, like huge ass, huge tits. He was always tiny in the drawings. The women where he'd be caught between their butt cheeks or caught between their boobs, or he just loved being emasculated by these big, powerful,
Yeah.
buxomy women. And he talks a lot about it in the documentary. It's very fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. Check it out. I have a correction. So in the Mark Maron episode, I said the Golden Bears were the WNBA team. And a lot of people have told me that that's incorrect.
Right.
That's Berkeley's team.
Yeah.
And the WNBA team is the LA Sparks.
Right.
So correction.
Yep.
Sorry I made that mistake, everyone. But I'm only human, and I'm glad that you corrected me. I'm happy to be corrected. And I still have not figured out what you changed your mind on. Remember, we were in the car, and I
said death penalty.
No, we were in the car, and I said, "Oh, that's something you changed your mind on," and we laughed. We couldn't remember. And then we brought it up on the podcast and said, "You'll probably remember by the fact check," and I still don't.
Because it was so stupid. It was like I decided I liked dark chocolate or something.
Yeah, something silly.
Yeah.
And we'll never know. The world will never know.
And then the other thing that we're hearing a lot of is that last week you said, so, hey, I'm not going to go into detail about CTE because I did it in the Joel McHale fact check. And of course, that's the fact check that
is lost.
Went missing. So we've decided that instead of re-recording it, we're just going to double down. And from now on, we're going to go, if you want to hear Dax have sex with a pumpkin, just check out the Joel McHale fact check. That's where we recorded it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the dumping ground for us.
Exactly.
Of anything we're too lazy to do. We'll just say, just see the Joel McHale fact check.
Yeah. Correct.
Is that all? Okay. I love you dearly.
Love you.